lodging, and food services. Jackie Quinn, Washington.
With a check on our weather, here's News 3's Kelly Curran.
We're looking at mostly sunny skies today and more warm temperatures. Today's forecast high in Las Vegas, 80 degrees, with winds out of the northeast at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Keep listening for more updates throughout the day from News 3, your weather authority.
Mostly sunny, 66. I'm John Shapiro on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDON, Las Vegas' only FM news talk station. With the latest on the roads, here's John Michaels.
From the Leonard Road Traffic Studio.
This report sponsored by Lowe's. Watch for possible slowing due to a traffic hazard reported Blue Diamond Road at Dean Martin Drive. That may be debris on the roadway or other obstruction. No new accidents to report. No delays. I-15 north and southbound looking very good right now. And delay free on the 95, east side, west side inbound to the Spaghetti Bowl. Lowe's is open and here to help you through this very important time with what you need to keep your home running smoothly. Shop Lowe's.com or download their app and have it delivered to your doorstep. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
Get the rest you deserve with Helix Sleep. Helix makes personalized mattresses to fit your unique body type and sleep preferences and give you the best sleep of your life. Go to helixsleep.com and get up to $200 off mattress orders.
I'm Jim Snyder.
And I'm Marie Mortera. We want to thank you for making News 3 your number one choice for news.
Every weeknight at 11, you can count on us to have the big story of the day.
Plus breaking news that matters to you.
Jim Snyder and Marie Mortera. News 3 live at 11.
This is a story of the numbers that make your water flow. 90% of our water comes from Lake Mead, traveling through 6,500 miles of pipeline. Your water is treated thoroughly, analyzed nearly 300,000 times a year, and monitored 24/7 by experts, all to ensure your water meets or surpasses the highest quality standards on its way to the place that matters most, your tap. For objective information about water quality and in-home treatment systems, visit snwa.com. The SNWA is a not-for-profit water agency.
These are unprecedented times, which are causing a lot of stress and financial worry for millions of Americans. But here's some good news. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, Optima Tax Relief can reduce the stress in your life by helping you resolve your tax debt right from the safety of your own home. Make no mistake, you don't want to owe the IRS right now. They can take your paycheck and everything you work so hard for. But with Optima on your side, you may qualify for help that saves you thousands. Their tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and has resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for taxpayers across the nation. So now's the time. For tax help you need, for tax help you trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-709-6011. That's 800-709-6011. 800-709-6011.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
SportsX Radio Nation, what's up? It's Ken Thompson, host of SportsX Radio, reminding you to catch me at my new time, 8 to 10 p.m. for all the local Vegas sports coverage, plus the national scene as well. That's SportsX Radio on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDWN.
A Home for Spot is a nonprofit group of dog lovers whose mission is to rescue, provide sanctuary, and ultimately to rehome abandoned, stray, and neglected dogs. To donate, foster, or adopt, go online to spot.com.
101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON, the talk of Las Vegas. The opinions of the hosts on KDWN are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of this station, its management, or Beasley Media Group.
Hello, everyone. This is President Trump, the greatest president in the history of presidents. And the only show I listen to is the top-rated show, Sharp and Shapiro. They are the best.
Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
Oh yeah, good morning, Las Vegas. It is a Thursday. Glad you could join us. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. Coming at you live, ladies and gentlemen, from Brian Shapiro's kitchen table. We've been doing it for a month now. It's getting a little bit uncomfortable. And let me tell you, folks, we're not getting any younger. At least I'm not. Since this show is just, it's all about me. Everything's about me. I'm King Brian, as our producer likes to say. I have turned 40 years old today. I am officially old, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm old. Now, some of you might be saying, well, wait a second, 40's young. Not to me, it's not. I've always said my entire life, when you hit your 40s, you're officially old. So I'm old. I'm old. And what better way to spend my birthday than to be in quarantine with Jason Stein, our producer, Campaign, our videographer, and, of course, J.D. Sharp, my co-host. It's certainly a sausage party at the kitchen table, but that's quite all right. No big deal. I mean, I had a party planned for about 150 people on a suite on the Strip, but that's not going to happen. But I don't want to sound like I'm selfish or anything. But we're going to try to have some fun today. And what I mean by that is I'm going to try to be a little positive, more positive today than I usually am. So a little positive today. Obviously, there's a lot going on. We're going to get to the mayor's comments, Mayor Goodman. She wants everything open ASAP, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to have some very special celebrity guests joining us throughout the show today, wishing me a happy birthday, singing some happy birthday. Darcy Spears from 13 Action News will be joining us in a little bit. Apparently, some of these stimulus checks have been stolen from people. She's got that story coming up here at the bottom of the hour. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, will be singing happy birthday to me coming up a little bit later in the program. So that's going to be a lot of fun. What an honor to have the President do that for us. Couple local celebrities, former Miss Nevada going to be joining us, Lisa Song Sutton, going to be singing me happy birthday with local talented magician Mike Hammer, who's been doing a show for, I think, a decade now downtown at the Four Queens. They're going to be joining us in hour number 2. We're going to talk a little bit about these Michigan protests. Is Las Vegas next? We'll talk about that in hour number 2. Then the very funny and talented, one of my favorite stand-up comics, and I'm so glad he's joining us on my birthday. Maybe I can get a happy birthday from him. None other than the legend George Wallace will be joining us in hour number 3. And then coming up at the bottom of the hour, this woman is super talented. She's beautiful. She's smart. She also has been the lead singer in the Sexy Show at the Westgate, the Island Heat Show at Treasure Island, and the Fantasy Show at Luxor. What a voice she has. She does the national anthem for all the big events in town, too. Charlene Carabio will be joining us. She's agreed to sing happy birthday for me today. So I feel very, very special today. My friends, local celebrities here in town, and the President of the United States even. He knows how much I trash him, but he was nice enough to, he's going to be calling in later in the show.
Did you mention to the audience, I don't think you did, that actually all these birthday guests you booked yourself?
No, that's not true. I did not contact the President of the United States. That's not factually accurate. I did not do that.
Except for him.
I think that's
you actually
delightful.
called up all these people.
Well, because you're lazy and you're a horrible producer. That's why.
And begged them to lavish you with attention on your birthday.
No, I'm fine for. I'm very excited for 5 different renditions of Happy Birthday to Brian Shapiro on his 40th birthday. I think it's warranted.
I asked you to text Tom Arnold. You never did that. I wanted Tom Arnold to sing me, come on and sing me a happy birthday.
He definitely did.
Of course he would have, but our producer's so lazy. He doesn't do anything.
I was a little busy.
Yeah.
I'm catching up on Narcos and also Better Call Saul.
Gotcha. And apparently you're a professional internet hacker too. I just heard a rumor. Speaking of rumors, by the way, I was at the supermarket yesterday, JD, and this very large man, he must have weighed about 450 pounds. He was a very, very large man. He would have suffocated me. He's in front of me in the supermarket line, and we're practicing social distance, which was I had to be at least 8 feet away from him. And he looks at me and he says, "Man, this sucks. All these buffets are shut down. I wonder if they'll ever reopen again." And then we got into this conversation about buffets. Very interesting conversation. He seems to think that the buffets are going to shut down. So that's my source. You know, I was talking to a guy at the buffets. He seems to think that they're going to be shut down. So I don't know, Stein. What do you want to do? Do you want to talk about buffets for an hour? Because that's definitely what's on everybody's mind, right? I mean, you tell me. I don't know. Should we do that? Do you want to do an hour on buffets, or what do you want to do?
I mean, we got to get this economy back open just so I can go to a buffet.
Yeah, I mean, that's important. So is that sarcasm? Do you want to do an hour on buffets, or should we move on?
Is your secret source Chris Wynn? Because he loves...
Chris does love the buffets.
Yeah, he loves the buffets.
No. So no, is that a no?
And you know, he's got a strategy when he goes into a buffet. He's got certain foods he starts with. And then
the crawfish thing.
Eat the crawfish thing.
Crawfish with the butter.
Yeah.
Well, Stein, you are our segment.
Bowl of crawfish.
Stein,
I don't know how he does that 4 times a week and survives.
Stein, you are our segment producer. Would you like to do an hour on buffets and take calls, or do you think? What do you think? It's your decision.
Let's do it. Let's call an audible and just do it right now.
You just want to do an hour of call? Well, we have guests coming up though at the bottom of the hour, so that's not going to work. Do you want to move on to the mayor, or should we talk about buffets?
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do it right. We'll do it tomorrow.
Maybe
we'll set up a bunch
tomorrow.
of buffet guests.
Okay. All right. Buffet guests. Oh, I like that. Maybe we can get a correspondent outside one of the buffets. Maybe I'll try to find my source. Maybe he'll come on as well.
There's a delightful buffet called Valentino's back in Omaha where I'm from.
Oh, that's good. Maybe we can talk. Let's get the manager of the buffet to come on.
I'm pretty close with one of the servers
Yeah.
at Valentina's, and maybe we could have them come on.
Well, you know what? Maybe instead of that's great. Maybe instead of an hour, maybe we could do 2 hours on buffets tomorrow. I don't know. We'll think about it. But anyway, let's get to the mayor, Carolyn Goodman, because this is. I actually do believe this is on people's minds. Las Vegas mayor basically calling this shutdown total insanity. This was yesterday at the city hall meeting. As you know, Carolyn Goodman and Governor Sisolak have not seen eye to eye on this shutdown. So I want you to hear it from Carolyn Goodman's mouth herself. And listen, I'm friends with Oscar Goodman. I've known Oscar for a very long time. I love Oscar. And I think Carolyn Goodman is a good person. I really do. I disagree with her on this, but let's play a little bit of audio. This was Carolyn Goodman yesterday at the City Hall meeting, pretty much blasting Sisolak in this aspect, disagreeing with him on the possibility of extending this shutdown. Have a listen to this.
This shutdown has become one of total insanity, in my opinion, for there is no backup of data as to why we are shut down from the start. For heaven's sakes, for being closed is killing us already and killing Las Vegas, our industry, our convention and tourism business that we have all worked so hard to build.
All right, so here's where I disagree with her. I believe everybody in Las Vegas and in the state of Nevada and across the country, for the most part, everybody's working really hard to make sure that this virus doesn't spread and then it starts to go downhill, not uphill. That would be the first thing I would say to Carolyn Goodman. The second thing I would say, does she understand how many people would have died if Governor Sisolak did not close down the Strip? That's the second thing I would say to Carolyn Goodman. I'll let you just finish.
Okay.
And then you take off from there.
All right.
The third thing I would say, besides the Strip, is does she understand that locally, if you open up all these businesses and you open everything up now, and it sounds like she would want to open up now as opposed to May 1st, you are putting everybody at risk. So I'm not quite sure Carolyn Goodman truly understands the seriousness of this virus. Now, she wants to go on and say, well, only a certain number of people have died. It's because people are practicing social distancing and people are abiding by the laws. People are not congregating in large groups. And I think she is 100% wrong.
Brian, you can't say that is why people aren't dying. You can't say that is. I mean, the virus.
What do you mean I can't?
I'm saying we really don't know what the virus does. We know that the virus has about an 8-week shelf life typically. And in the 6th week, no matter where it's at, the cases spike. The exact same thing happened in the United States. This has happened all over the world. We really don't know if mitigation is actually saving all these lives.
So you don't think that being in quarantine is helped?
I'm saying that we don't know. I'm saying you can't definitively make that statement.
You're telling me I can't say on the radio right now. Hold on. Let me just ask you the question.
Okay.
You're saying that we've been in quarantine for a month. We haven't been able to go to concerts. We haven't been able to go to casinos. We haven't been able to gather in large groups because basically it's against the law.
Buffets.
Buffets. Don't forget about that. So you're telling me that the last month of what social distancing and what people are practicing, you can't say with a straight face that has helped mitigate this virus in Las Vegas?
I'm saying nobody can say that because we don't know the actual death rate for the virus, Brian. We don't know.
You know how it spreads.
We know that you go to that when you started going to the grocery store. Once this started, about 10,000 people were at grocery stores every single day. For all we know,
but you can practice social distancing at grocery stores.
On that first day, everyone got infected. We don't know, Brian. The problem is we don't know.
I think we do.
How many people have had this virus? We don't know when it got here. We don't know the actual mortality rate. So she is totally correct.
So open everything up tomorrow.
Tomorrow makes no sense.
Well, that's what she's saying.
Well, obviously tomorrow, based on what's going on right now, that makes no sense. Now, a month ago, I would probably agree with her, but at this point, obviously that makes no sense. Now you look at what's taking place. MGM is probably starting up on June 1st. A lot of these casinos are looking to bring back their management and their HR teams in the middle of May, and then bring them back on June 1st.
We could assume.
But I'm just saying we honestly do not know what the mortality rate is, Brian. So we can't say for all we know right now. So I'll give you a stat. In New York City, of the 15% of the women that had the virus, 87.9% of them were asymptomatic. That means that they showed no signs of having. That means that
everything up.
That means right now in New York City, there could be 60% of the population that have this virus or have antibodies to the virus. And if that's the case, then the mortality rate is a little more than the flu at that point.
All right. Well, let's take calls.
We honestly do not know what the actual mortality rate is, and she's right. We have closed everything on incomplete data. Okay, I'm done.
I think that there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't know, and when you don't know things, you err on the side of caution. You don't open up the economy.
Well,
let's go back to the phone calls, or let's go to the phone calls if we may, because we got a very jam-packed show, so I want to give some people an opportunity to call in. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Again, that number, if you want to be a part of the program, 257-5396. Let's go to Adam. Adam, you're first up on the Vegas Take.
Hey, what's up, Adam?
Yeah, this is Adam calling from Mesquite, Nevada. I've waited for 3 weeks. Congratulations to Ben on his 40th birthday. He has a long life in front of him. He's not old. We're right to the point.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Please bring this up. No one has brought this up. You know, no people should be making babies in this time, no matter what age they are. There's no need to repopulate the world, especially we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Jane Fonda in the early 80s, when she was married to Ted Turner, she said no more than 2 babies. And now to the other issue. In reference to the president, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm a supporter of the president. There was a civil war fought. The Civil War was fought over states' rights. The Confederates removed themselves from the Union. They didn't want to be part of the Union for states' rights. Slavery, the emancipation, was the second issue. President Lincoln was able to pass it when Nevada became a state. The 2 senators from Nevada voted for emancipation, which I support 100%. So 2 issues I just want to get across. Stop making babies wherever you're at, because they're going to turn.
Well, you should have told me that 2 days ago, because I would have changed my
behavior. Ben, I try to get through this.
Brian,
yeah.
I appreciate
I like Ben.
Thank you for calling, and we appreciate that.
Adam, that was an outstanding call. Thank you.
702.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Stay safe. 702-257-5396. Trust me, Stein is practicing safe sex with his hand. Trust me on that. So Stein will not be making any babies.
Did that caller say he knew Abraham Lincoln?
I don't know. I know he might have. 702.
That was a call. He was a testament for self-pleasure.
All right.
That was.
Number to call is
An endorsement.
Number to call is 257-5396 if you'd like to be a part of the program. Let's go to Brady. Brady's next on the Vegas Take.
Hey, Brad.
It's Brad with the Y. Happy birthday, Krusty! You made it to 40.
Thank you. That's very kind of you, doofus. Would you like to make a point?
The backhanded compliment.
My point is, we need to remove Sisolak immediately. The guy's an absolute buffoon.
I think we need to remove you from the state of Nevada. To be quite, you're the one who's the buffoon. But go ahead.
Why can't we? Okay. Well,
what would you have done differently? What would you have done differently than? Let's have a conversation here. Since you want to trash Sisolak, but you've never said one negative thing about Trump. What would you have done differently? What big mistakes has Sisolak made? What do you think, Brady? Do you think he just wants to ruin the state? You think he wants to ruin businesses and ruin people's lives? He's doing the best job he can do. He closed the economy and he closed the Strip when he should have done it. He made a very difficult decision. You don't want to give him any credit. You want to listen to right-wing whack jobs who debate Sisolak, who will yell at Sisolak and go after him every single day. What would you have done differently?
First off, I would have appointed Mayor Goodman and brought Oscar back to handle Las Vegas. If he wants to handle every other county but Clark County, so be it. But
what specific policies would you have handled differently?
I would have left the gun stores open.
That's why you're angry at him.
I would have not banned chloroquine.
First of all, he didn't ban it. You're not factually accurate. Doctors are allowed to prescribe it. So once again, you're factually inaccurate.
They're not prescribing it. He said if the doctors prescribe it, they would be arrested.
Okay, nobody's been arrested. Number one, nobody's been arrested. Number two, how many guns do you own? Why is that a problem for you?
Why is that important to me? This is a gun state. You should know that we live in a gun state, Brian.
Yeah. So what's your point? What's your point?
My point is, in a time of crisis, you don't close the Second Amendment gun stores.
Well, I'm woken up, by the way, and in 40 years of my life, if I wanted to buy a gun by now, I would have. I don't hang out in gun stores all day during a pandemic. Maybe you do because you have nothing better to do with your life. Hey, let's go hang out at the gun store for 12 hours. There's nothing better to do. I have better things to do with my life, Brady, than to hang out at a gun store. Listen, if you want to sleep with your guns and polish your guns all day, you have the right to do that. that. But don't wait a second. If you want to, no, you listen to me now. If you want to polish your guns all night and pleasure yourself to your guns, that's your business. But guess what? It starts to affect me when you buffoons leave your house and think it's a necessity to go to the gun store every day and hang out and have a good time and make love to your guns. Have a nice day, Brady. Have a nice day. Polish those guns. Have a nice day. 702-257-5396.
Really good call, Brady.
257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Tom. Tom, you're next on the Vegas Take.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, guys. I just want to say that, I agree with Sislak. What he did, he had the right intention, except I don't agree with the way they're picky and choosing what stays open, what doesn't. And as far as practicing social distancing, have you been in Walmart lately or Home Depot? Those places are super packed.
Exactly.
I was in Walmart yesterday, jam-packed, people everywhere. Some people have masks, some people don't, but it's a madhouse. And so if this thing is spreading, we're spreading it there.
Right.
Well, let me.
And that's been happening since all this started. And there's some stores that do it right, like Target and Albertsons, and Smith's to an extent. But some of those other stores, you have 500 or 600 people in there at one time. They're not 6 feet away from each other. All it takes is one cough in a close proximity. From what I've learned about this virus, it can spread as far as 13 feet. It can go on the bottom of your shoes. You're talking about that it's not spreading in all these grocery stores. That's why I'm saying, is this mitigation really working? Because we're all still going to the grocery store. We're still we're sitting at home all day. We're not going, we're not going to work. We're not going to big events, but we're still going to these grocery stores that are packed every single day all over the country.
Okay. Well, what I believe is this. I believe that weeks ago there should have been a policy put in place that only a certain number of people can be in all these stores. Now, some of these stores have implemented that, but others have not. I do think that is problematic. That is an issue, but it also comes down to self-diligence and self-responsibility. If you think there's a lot of people in an area, then guess what? Go away from that area. If somebody is standing a foot away from you, look at them and say, "Excuse me, can you back up a few feet?"
Just go stand in the corner.
Well, I'm being serious. I'm not joking here. I think when you go into I know I am. When I'm going into a supermarket, I'm very aware of my surroundings. I'm trying to be very careful not to be close to anyone. I don't even like touching the machine where you put your credit card through, and as soon as I'm done with that and I go home, I wash.
I'll tell you, it is the weirdest thing too. Walking into a grocery store and having someone look at you and just turn and walk as fast as they can in the other direction. It's crazy.
Well, it's bizarre.
It's crazy.
Listen,
what's happening.
It's
in the United States right now.
There's no question that it's unprecedented times that we're living in right now. But again, it comes down to self-responsibility. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Carl. Carl, you're next on the Vegas Take.
What's up, Carl?
Yeah, happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Hey, Carl, what'd you sing for him?
But I had to follow Crazy Brady. Why did you do that? Anyway, listen, Sisolak, let me explain one thing medically for you. Sisolak was right by closing down the Strip. 90% of the people who go on the Strip are tourists, whether they drive here from the East Coast or West Coast or fly in from Europe. Can you imagine what would happen here if all the Strip was open and all the hotels?
Well, it's pretty simple, Carl. He saved thousands of lives. There's no question about it.
He also saved billions and billions of dollars, because once tourists aren't coming to the Strip can't stay open. And at that point, no one was coming to Vegas.
Yeah, but the right-wing nutjob idiots won't give him credit for anything, and just because he has a...
Do you know how many people would die if the tourists came here?
Yeah. Yeah, no question.
And really, I can't blame Sisolak for that. What I can say is that I think we're going to find out that the entire country being shut down was probably unnecessary, and that alone, then just that media narrative, the fear that was in 90% of Americans' minds, if you go into a place where there's a lot of people, you can get this virus. That alone was enough to shut down the Strip, because again, once tourists aren't coming to the Las Vegas Strip is it can't exist.
Let's steal one more call here. Let's go to Marge. Marge, you're next on the Vegas Take. How you doing, Marge?
Hey, what's up, Marge?
Good. Happy birthday. Just one
Thank
second.
you.
Did you like that?
I like that. That was good.
Was it Anthony Michael Hall?
Thank you, Marge. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Is Brian 16?
Pardon?
Is Brian 16?
Don't listen to JD, Marge. Go ahead.
No, that song was very prevalent in the movie 16 Candles.
No. He's 39 because everything in the world got canceled. So there's no birthdays.
He does actually have a 16 Candles poster on his wall.
So it's a leap year.
Everything has been canceled, including my dates over the course of the last 6 weeks. Go ahead, Marge. What's on your mind?
You and Molly Ringwald. You have the same hair color, too. That's cool.
You know, what's odd too is that we had the Consumer Electronics Show back in January, and then I think a couple of different other conventions.
Right.
And I don't really recall, you know, hearing about people getting sick. I know a lot of people had some type of a flu, and maybe that was the onset of all of this. But by and large, I'm kind of happy that they closed it down because they don't know what they're dealing with. Mayor Goodman said, you know, there's no track record or statistics or whatever else. Well, this is because we're in the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen to us. And even if we you know, come back up, who's to say we're not going to have another surge? And I think the whole thing is, it's the key to all this is do testing for people. You know, some people have said have a home kit of some sort and see if you're okay. But I'm a little bit worried if we all of a sudden in mass open up everything, it's going to be an issue.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Marge. And by the way, I appreciate the happy birthday. Thank you very much, Marge. Always good to hear from you. You're one of our loyal listeners, and trust me, I think I speak for everybody when I say we really do appreciate you. So thank you for calling, and you made some good points here.
Marge, did you send Brian a card yesterday?
No card. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking to Darcy Spears from Channel 13. You know about those stimulus checks? Yeah, the ones that Donald Trump wanted his name on, which is buffoonery in itself. Well, now some people apparently are stealing some of those checks. Darcy Spears from Channel 13 has the story for us next, coming up right here on the Vegas Take.
A heart in my tasty Honey Nut Cheerios? Cereal. You trying to tell me you love me?
Actually, it's reminding you that it can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
Wait! They can help lower cholesterol? I've been so focused on the sweet tasted taste that I completely forgot. Now I'm in love.
Learn more about making Honey Nut Cheerios part of your heart-healthy lifestyle by picking up a box at your local grocery store.
Right now, we cannot be overwhelmed. We have to work to keep our loved ones safe and protect our communities. We have to work to build new solutions. But for this to work, we have to work together. At ZipRecruiter, we connect employers and people every day. But today, we're partnering with first responders, government officials, and the medical community to find the right people for the right jobs right now. Let's work together. ZipRecruiter.com/work together.
Hey, are you ready to quit smoking? There's a free Nevada resource here to help you. Just call 1-800-QUIT-NOW from a Nevada area code.
Coronavirus update. I'm Christopher Cruz. A staggering number of first-time unemployment claims this morning. 5.2 million last week, pushing the unemployment rate to 13.5%. Correspondent Julia Chatterley.
We're now talking about 22 million people just in the last 4 weeks filing for the first time. In terms of states where we've seen an increase in claims, Georgia, Michigan, Arizona, Texas, and it's broad across the industry, trade, social assistance, healthcare, hotels, retail, you name it, every sector just about coming under pressure, and this is the result.
It's the worst stretch of job losses in American history. This late word, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has extended his stay-at-home order until May 15th, joining the mayors of Los Angeles and Washington, D.C., and Britain today extended its national lockdown for at least another 3 weeks. I'm Christopher Cruz.
It's time to check the roads.
From the Lerner and Rowe Traffic Studio.
This report sponsored by Valley Auto Mall. Watch for slowing for a crash reported I-15 northbound at Lake Mead Boulevard. Not blocking vehicles are off to the right. Also on the surface streets, a crash at Lamb at Las Vegas Boulevard, causing delays, or take an alternate like Nellis or Pecos instead. Another accident, this is going to be at Rancho Drive, southbound at Sahara. Use Valley View to get around that one. The Valley Auto Mall has over 7,000 vehicles to choose from. Shop, search, and compare at one convenient location. Visit the Valley Auto Mall in Henderson. It's the biggest one of all. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
I'm attorney Paul Powell. If you get hurt in a crash, hiring the right lawyer makes all the difference. If you want a lawyer who won't take all your money in the end, call me. Did the other guys promise that? You already know that answer.
Paul Powell. More lawyer, less fee.
Some restrictions apply.
We have reached the age where things just cost more.
Cars, phones, life insurance.
Your blood pressure is up.
Your weight is up.
You're one to talk.
I have type 2 diabetes, so I'm getting dinged just like you.
Thank goodness for Big Lou.
Big Lou!
Big Lou can get term life insurance rates for a 50-year-old male with type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, or maybe he's on anxiety meds. For just around $200 a month for $1 million of coverage.
Oh, you got to say that again.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll say it. Big Lou and Term Provider could get a 50-year-old man, a little dinged up, $1 million in life insurance for around $200 a month.
Call Big Lou.
Big Lou!
He's like you. 800-529-2856. That's 800-529-2856.
Don't put it off. If you're overweight, diabetic, have high blood pressure, you gotta call Big Lou.
Gotta. 800-529-2856.
Write it down.
800-529-2856.
1015 FM, 720 AM, KDON, the talk of Las Vegas. Sean Hannity, weekdays noon to 3 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 1015 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. That's right, I am the big 4-0 today. I'm officially old. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Actually, JD didn't even wish me a happy birthday. Stein rolls in here.
I've been waiting.
Stein rolls in here and he gives me a Taco Bell gift certificate. JD rolls in here and he tells me how much my apartment smells. That's the birthday I get. Happy birthday I get.
Factual.
Anyway, welcome back to the show. A lot to get to. The President of the United States will be joining us here coming up at the bottom of the hour. He's going to wish me a happy birthday. But before that, we always love having Darcy Spears on. Of course, her Dirty Dining segments from 13 Action News, and she's got some important information to share with us. Darcy, thanks so much for joining us as always. How are you?
I'm great, and a very happy birthday to you.
You see that, JD? Thank you, Darcy. You see what she just did,
Absolutely,
JD?
yeah.
That's not so hard.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
Yeah,
Darcy.
see, I appreciate that, Darcy. Maybe one day you can be my co-host. Anyway, let's start off.
Let's do it for the next few minutes. How's that?
It won't be too much fun for my apartment. I'll tell you that much. But hey, talk to me a little bit about these stimulus checks. You know, the ones that Donald Trump wanted to put his name on. Yeah, those stimulus checks. Is there any information that you can share with us that apparently some people might be trying to steal these? Like, what information can you tell us about that?
Well, as many of your listeners may know, mail theft in the Las Vegas Valley is an ongoing issue. We've covered a number of stories about, the neighborhood cluster mailboxes being broken into. There have been some speculation that there are issues within the post office itself at certain branches. But now that opportunists, and that's a nice word, we'll call them potential thieves, know that these checks are on their way. In many cases, paper checks that are coming to people's mailboxes, there's supposition that there's going to be kind of a heightened threat out there, that they're going to be waiting for their chance to break into the mailboxes, steal those checks, and prevent the people who really need them from getting them. And we did a story about that yesterday to try to raise awareness about being hyper vigilant when it comes to collecting your mail. Like, get it the second you can. If you know when the mailbox is filled in your neighborhood, if you know when your postal person comes, wait till right after he or she fills the box, locks it up, and then you go get your mail right away, because the best prevention is preventing that opportunity.
Yeah, that's really good information. I think at one point all of us, sadly, at one point, maybe had their mail stolen or one thing or another. And, we see these videos of packages being stolen on porches. Let's remind people that is a felony. It is a even if you tamper with mail, it's a felony. It is a federal offense.
Federal crime.
Yeah, so if there's anyone out there that is thinking, by the way, if you steal a stimulus check, how the hell can you cash it? Your name isn't on it. I don't even know how you'd be able to cash something like that to begin with anyway, but that is good information that you're giving out to our listeners. Protect your mail. Don't let anybody else have access to it. That is extremely important. So obviously with fewer restaurants, right, you're going to have fewer violators as far as health inspectors are concerned. But I know that you found a mobile El Polo, number 2, dirty dining repeat offender. Can you tell us about this?
Yeah, let's work on your Spanish for a second, okay?
It's terrible.
El Pollo Mobile.
Did I say polo? I'm thinking of the sport. Thinking of the sport.
Thinking of Ralph Lauren.
Marco Polo. I'm
Pollo
sorry.
with the 2 L's. Yeah. So there we go. Spanish lesson. of
Wait,
the
it's
day.
the El Pollo Loco. Those ads.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay,
yes.
I got you.
Right, but let's please be very clear. We are not talking about an El Pollo Loco here.
Correct.
Yesterday's Dirty Dining offender was El Pollo Mobile number 2. So it's kind of like a food truck, but a little bit more substantial in that it's one of those, trailers that you can hook up. So it's in some ways a stationary outdoor unit. This particular El Pollo Mobile is a Dirty Dining repeat offender. We've had them on in the past, and they got dinged again on April 3rd when inspectors found the unit stationed at Rainbow and Smoke Ranch operating under 3 imminent health hazards.
Wow.
So, these are for, again, the really crucial and basic things that we all are counting on any restaurant that's open for business, for takeout and delivery, to be focused on when it comes to having hot water so that the people working there can properly wash their hands, the correct refrigeration to keep those food temperatures at a place where they're not going to grow bacteria. And in this case, the unit's wastewater tank was actively leaking sewage onto the ground.
Ooh, that is really gross.
Bang, bang, boom. And, one thing that kind of stood out here, 2 of the food handlers did not have health cards, and one of them was caught falsifying food temperature logs.
Oh.
So you've got a little bit more of, kind of a distrust situation going on, even if everything else was okay.
So, Darcy, they're leaving their sewage in the streets?
Yeah, a lot. These food trucks and these mobile units, they have wastewater tanks that collect all of the gray water and the wastewater that's generated by the cooking process and the washing process. And that, sewage water has to be contained, but a lot of times you find it leaking. And when it leaks directly onto the ground, of course, that's considered improper disposal of sewage. It leaches into the ground. It can get into the sanitary sewer. All of that is big no-no.
Leakage. It sounds like my grandmother. Oh, that's another story for another show, but I will say that brings new meaning to the term take your crap somewhere else. That's pretty nasty. That's pretty disgusting. So, Darcy, before we let you go, just tell me how you're holding up in all this. Have you discovered any new restaurants where you're ordering food to go and you're pleasantly surprised? Can you give any of our listeners any ideas of maybe some businesses that are still up and running for to-go orders that you would recommend?
Well, my family and I, we try to do to-go about once a week, just to kind of keep the budget, but also continue to support the local industry. So last week we got takeout from a place called Block 9. It's a Thai restaurant on Town Center and the 215. And I believe that's run by the same family that owns a wonderful restaurant called Nataya's Kitchen. And I can't overstate how delicious our dinner was and how exciting it was for us to just have, something different than what we've been cooking at home. And we all, we just kept looking at each other going, oh my gosh, this is so good. So that was our find last week. It's not new to us. We get food from there when times are normal. But it was an excessively pleasant surprise when times are abnormal.
Darcy, are you surprised how well Las Vegans are handling this lockdown, this quarantine situation, considering that right now the entertainment capital of the world is totally devoid of the exact thing that it's known for, entertainment? Are you surprised that Vegas is doing really well, holding up under these circumstances? And how long do you think it's going to actually last?
Well, I think the term Vegas strong is literally, it's a real thing. Our community has been through some incredible tragedy, and we've shown that we can deal with it and that we can also recover and rise above. So in that way, while there are so many people hurting for so many reasons right now, I'm not super surprised at our ability and our commitment and our resilience to deal with stuff like this. I would love nothing more than to say when that shutdown order by the governor ends on April 30th that things will, in fact, be able to start back up again. I certainly don't expect a miraculous opening of everything where everyone's just thrown back into their lives. And I feel like a lot of people are going to be cautious for some time to come. Even when things do get back to business, I think people may not be ready on a grand scale. but half of my mind is like, he's just going to extend it another 30 days and we're going to be here through May. And I don't understand why the schools haven't said, hey, guess what? No one's coming back this year, because I'm pretty sure the writing's on the wall for that. So there's still a lot of uncertainty as to where the end is. And really no way to know which half of me is right. The half says, okay, April 30th, end of shutdown, let's go, versus the other half that says, I know we got another month inside before anybody says anything substantive.
All right, Darcy, well, you always do a great job for us. We really do appreciate it. Let me know if you see anybody else leaking sewage out of their food truck. Boy, that is so nasty.
That's filthy.
Darcy, before we let you go, give us that information to our listeners. How can people follow you on social media and, of course, see you on television?
Well, everybody can find me on Facebook. My professional Facebook page is there and updated constantly, as well as my Twitter feed, which is at DSPINV13. And, of course, all of my stories are posted at ktnv.com on our website. The different shows where my stories are airing these days, it's bouncing all over the place. You can see me at 6 a.m. and 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. So just if you're looking around and you're watching the news, which so many people are in so many greater numbers these days, and we do appreciate the opportunity, to be a source of important information and communication. So I'm there. And if your TV isn't on at the right time, ktnv.com is there.
Yeah, and you guys do a great job, and your Dirty Dining segments are awesome and a great service to the community. Darcy, thank you so much for your time. Always appreciate it when you come on. Please stay safe, and we'll catch up with you again next week, okay?
Thank you, and happy birthday again.
Thank you. I appreciate that,
thanks
Darcy.
a lot,
It means a
Darcy.
lot. Yes, I am 40. It's depressing. I'm getting old. But we do have some good news. According to our producer, Jason Stein, is it true that we have Donald Trump, the President of the United States, that's going to be joining us next segment to sing me happy birthday? Because I thought you were messing with me earlier when you said, hey, I got you the President.
Donald J. Trump.
Okay, I thought you were messing with me. So this is serious. This is a serious thing.
He actually contacted me.
The President reached out to you and said, I want to wish Brian Shapiro. He knows I talk a lot of trash about him, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he likes that.
Wow.
He's flattered that you're just talking about
He likes it.
Well, Stein and Jared Kushner have been playing Words with Friends for about 3 months.
You know what? This is news to me.
Stein beats him all the time.
Let's take a break. When we come back, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, will be singing happy birthday to me live when we come back. This is unbelievable. We'll take a break. Be back right after this. You're listening to The Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
Listen to the Texas Corners Bible Church every Saturday night at 11 p.m. and Sunday night at 10 p.m. on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
Sunday nights, it's Steve Sanchez.
Wake the heck up.
Live from the undisclosed bunker studios with a Constitution in one hand and a Bible in the other. Sundays from 7 to 10 p.m. on News Talk 720 KDWN.
When times are tough, Vegas people stay Vegas strong. Yes, Air Conditioning and Plumbing is here with you and our community anytime you need us. Together we'll make it through, stronger than ever. Stay safe, Vegas.
This is Harry Jacobs from Credit Restoration of Nevada, inviting you to join me for the Credit Show, Saturday mornings between 9 and 10, here on the new 101.5 FM and 720 AM, KDAWN.
101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN, the talk of Las Vegas. Sean Hannity, weekdays noon to 3 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro, so glad you could join us on a Thursday. Yeah, it is my birthday. I'm 40 years old. Hey, listen, 40's a big deal. I'm not like 12. I don't celebrate every birthday. But the last birthday I celebrated, I was 35 years old, and I got a huge suite, the Elvis suite, actually, over there at the Westgate. Had about 150 people, and it was a good time. But no, I don't celebrate my birthday every single year. But the guy joining us on the line right now, I got to say, this is a treat to me, because I've never had the President of the United States wish me a happy birthday and sing happy birthday to me. But is it true that we have Donald Trump on the line? Mr. President, are you on the line, sir?
Hello, guys. How are you? Good afternoon out there.
Mr. President, good afternoon. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show. I know you are aware,
Always
Mr.
an honor for you. Always an honor for you.
Of course it is, Mr.
No,
President.
it's definitely an honor for me.
Yes, Mr.
Did you
President.
get your stimulus check? Did you get your check yet?
I didn't get it yet, but my understanding is your name is on it. No, I didn't get.
Believe me, it's going to be incredible. No one stimulates the way I stimulate. This is an incredible package. You should see my package.
Well, that's not
really,
what
really amazing.
Mr. President, that's not what Melania told me. I don't know if that's true.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, that's
I
not.
haven't seen her, so I can't even find out.
That's true. You guys don't spend a lot of time together these days, Mr. President. So,
Her social distancing is on point. On point.
So, Mr. President, is it true that you told our producer that you are willing, Mr. President, to sing me happy birthday? Is that true?
Oh my, listen, Brian. First of all, I am probably one of the greatest singers in the history of singers. As you know, I was on Regis Philbin's Christmas album, which sold hundreds and hundreds of copies, And then on top of that, I was on the Emmys, and I sang Green Acres. So I'm very, very experienced with singing.
All right, Mr. President, the floor is yours. I know how much you like the attention. Take it away.
Let's do it. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to me. I'm so incredible. It's really amazing. I have so many gifts.
But Mr. President,
I should have probably been a singer.
Mr. President, you did.
Honestly, Mr. President, your voice, it sounds like a mix of Fergie and Jesus.
Mr. President,
it's really incredible. And I think you both know that Jesus was Jewish. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Absolutely.
I just found that out during Easter.
Mr. President, but it's not your birthday today. With all due respect, Mr. President.
Every day is my birthday. Every day is my birthday. You just happen to share it with me, so I sing it to you. You guys can fix this in editing, right? You can drop your name.
Mr. President, that's fine. I have a request for you, sir. Is there any chance for my birthday I could spend a night with your beautiful wife, Melania Trump? Is there any chance that could happen?
I'll tell you what. I'm going to make you a tremendous deal. And no one makes deals like me, by the way. No one makes deals like me. But if you can find her, she's yours.
Wow, does she have a double, like a stunt double? Because some people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's her Secret Service agent. Looks just like her. It's really incredible. Sometimes even I get confused because they both slap the hand the same way.
Mr. President, some people are upset that you decided to put your name on the stimulus check. Some people think that you did it for egotistical reasons.
I'm not one of those people, Mr. President.
Let me clear this up. Here's the thing with my name on the checks. If you get, say, $1,000 check with my name on it, it becomes a $1,500 check. It goes up in value. I'm only doing this so people's checks have more value than they would have otherwise.
So you're saying just because your name is on the check, we're going to have to fact check you on that. I don't know if that's true or not, Mr. President.
Oh, no. It's very, very true. My brand is worth so much money. My name on those checks. Let me tell you something. People are going to get those checks. They're not even going to cash them. They're going to wait 2, 3, 10 years. They're going to be worth probably triple in a very short time. They're like United States savings bonds, but they're checks. Don't cash the check because we're out of money at this point. But we're going to get some more because we're getting a loan from China.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking with the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Okay, so Mr. President, there's been rumors that you and Dr. Fauci have not always gotten along. You retweeted something that said #FireFauci. Can you set the record straight with us, please, sir?
Well, you know what? I didn't write that tweet. I just retweeted it. I mean, me and the Fauci get along very, very well. I call him my favorite paisano. He's a great guy. We don't see eye to eye, but only because he's 4 foot tall. That's the only reason. But he's a great guy, and I have to tell you, his baked ziti, he brought it in the other day, was absolutely fantastic.
I didn't know.
Really, really good. And he's another New York guy. We get along it's terrible what the press is saying just because I retweeted fire Fauci, everyone thinks I want to fire Fauci. I didn't write it. I
So
just
apparently
retweeted it.
Fauci knows Karen Baccaliari.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently. Mr. President, why won't you wear a mask? You're getting openly criticized for not wanting to wear a mask. Can you tell us why?
Yeah, I put on a mask the other day. I put on a Lone Ranger mask, and and everyone said that wasn't right. But I think that will, because that's what I'm doing. I'm saving the country. I'm the Lone Ranger, and that's why I'm going to get rid of the Congress and the Senate, and it's just going to be me. It's just going to be me. That way, I can really get some things done. Because this co-equal government thing, wow, it's really slowing me down.
Yeah, Mr. President, the $350 billion Paycheck Protection Program just ran out of money today. It needs another $250 billion, otherwise these small businesses are not going to be able to pay their employees. What's going to happen with that?
Well, I'm talking to the producers of the $10,000 pyramid, and we're trying to get some money from them. All the business owners have to do is go on, get some questions right, and they can get cash on the spot. Because those networks have a lot of money.
Mr. President, why do you always talk about your ratings during your press conferences? Why is that so important to you?
Because I have the highest ratings. Do you have the highest ratings? No, but I have the highest ratings. No one's beating my ratings. And wait till the season finale of the coronavirus. I'm bringing back some of the names you forgot about. This is going to be a big, big finale, and the ratings are going to be through the roof. Through the roof. We're going to wrap this up probably mid-May. I'll give you a date on the final episode, but the finale is going to be tremendous.
Mr. President,
we're going to have Don, Ivanka, and Eric, if I can find him.
Who's your favorite child? Because you've said some negative things about Don Jr. in the past.
Well, I wouldn't say they were negative. I'm just a dad who's a little more critical than most dads. But you know who my favorite is. Ivanka. Ivanka, she's incredible. She's absolutely incredible. My only disappointment in Ivanka is she married Jared. He's I've never heard him speak. Did you know that? All I ever heard was "I do" at the wedding, and since then I haven't heard anything else.
I did not know he was mute. Mr. President, how tall is Barron? Is he 8 feet tall?
Isn't it amazing? He's really, I'll tell you what, he is a tall kid. He's so lucky. He has such tremendous genes. He's really incredible because I think it's, when you look at Melania, who's a supermodel, and I'm a super president, and we have a super kid. And he's great.
All right, so my understanding, Mr. President, is you had a conversation with Joe Biden, or as you like to call him, Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe.
Yeah,
Sleepy Joe. You know what he looks like? He looks like one of those dolls that Jeff Dunham has in his act. The crabby old man? He looks like that guy. The crabby old man.
How did that conversation go? I understand, Joe, you reached out to Joe, and you guys talked about the coronavirus situation. Did he fall asleep on you on the air? I mean,
the thing was, we did it as a Zoom call, which was a huge mistake. Have you guys done Zoom calls?
I have.
Oh, my God. He couldn't get the video working. He couldn't get the sound working. He couldn't see me. I have to this guy in technology, wow. It's going to be tough. No one knows technology the way I know technology. He doesn't know technology at all. He knows how to put on sunglasses. That's about it. Sleepy Joe.
Well, I got to say, incredible work that this man does. There's nobody who does a better Donald Trump impersonation than John DiDomenico, and he's joining us. This guy is so unbelievable. First of all, I want to say thank you for the happy birthday wishes.
Happy birthday, man. The big 4-0. That's
I know.
Fantastic.
John, I'm getting old, my man. I really am. But it never.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, but I appreciate you doing this for us, and I want to plug something that you're doing that I think is fantastic, and you do a lot of things for a lot of different communities. It's called Monday's Dark.
That's right.
Yeah, you do a great job. So you're going to be a part of hosting this live stream telethon event, and it's benefiting the Las Vegas entertainment community, which is awesome. John, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, this is a big deal in the sense that we are now working with the Actors Fund out of New York, which has offices in New York and Los Angeles. This is going to be April 27th from 5 to 11 p.m. You can go to the Monday's Dark website, and you're going to see so many amazing Las Vegas entertainers from home. because we're trying to practice social distancing. Some people will be at the Monday's Dark site, and they'll be, safe in that site. But we're going to have Brad Garrett. We're going to have a pretty incredible lineup of performers. Many of the performers that you've seen, and I'm just honored to be part of it, along with Mark Chinook. And like I said, Brad Garrett, some really big names are lending their voice and talents to this, so we can raise money.
Sure.
For all these people. Joey Fatone is going to be there. John Taffer, Debbie Gibson, Brian Newman, Travis Clower. It's a pretty amazing list. Daniel Emmett, who most people whose career has taken off because of his America's Got Talent. He was one of the finalists on that. And then some great local performers like Frankie Shinta and Zoe Bowie, Bucky Hurd from the Righteous Brothers, Vinay from the Bronx Wanderers. It's quite an amazing lineup of talented people. And because now that it's national, we're going to be going out nationally. We're going to be bringing in some Broadway stars and LA TV stars. Yeah, so we're still putting the list together, but the list is
great.
Incredibly
impressive. And by the way, Mark Chinook has been on this show before. He's a friend of the show, and he's also the voice of one of the voices of the Vegas Golden Knights. Great guy. We just had John Taffer from Bar Rescue on our show last week. What a smart guy and what a talent he is. Yeah, we all know.
And Dot Marie Jones from I think it's from Glee that she was on. She's really amazing.
Yep. So are we going to see your Donald Trump impersonation in this benefit?
You may see multiple because it's over 5 hours. You may see multiple full makeup characters.
I can't wait.
Switch pretty easily.
You know what's so important too, John, in these type of times, and I know you would agree, and this is why we love having you on, because we need to get people laughing again. You know what I mean? And this is one of those events where people are going to be able to smile and laugh. I mean, God, Brad Garrett's one of my favorite stand-up comics of all time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, I can honestly say this. I've seen him a number of times. I have friends who perform at his club and say, hey, come on down, something like that. I'll watch him open if he's there.
The way he makes fun of people is just unbelievable.
Oh my God. You literally, when you tell people your sides are splitting, no. Like, this guy will literally put you in tears.
Oh God, he's ad-lib. Yeah, the ad-libbing, the way he just messes with people. And here's somebody else that I think you'll appreciate, because we have him on today, coming up in hour number 3, George Wallace, legend himself. So,
oh my God, George is great.
Yeah.
George is great.
Well, I'll tell you someone else who's pretty great. That would be you, John. First of all, thank you. You are so talented and so funny. First of all, thank you. Well, it's true. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes, even though it was to the president, not to me. John, you are the best.
No one wishes birthdays like I do. Really. Many people have said, after I wish them the happy birthday, their lives change. I'm not saying that. They're saying that.
Well, hopefully my life will change. John DiDomenico, thank you so much. And again, for your time. Guys. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, John.
Thank you so much.
There you go. God, he is the best, isn't he? Can anybody do Trump better than him? Unbelievable. All right, coming up next, we got some more birthday wishes. I feel so special. First, I get the president. Now I get a couple Las Vegas locals, former Miss Nevada and a longtime magician on the Las Vegas Strip. They're both coming up next. You're listening to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
Your home for Sean Hannity. KDWN Las Vegas, KKLZ HD2 Las Vegas, a Beasley Media Group station.
Special report coronavirus update. I'm Christopher Cruz. A staggering number of first-time unemployment claims reported today, 5.2 million last week. Correspondent Julia Chatterley says the claims come from all regions of the country and all sectors of the economy.
In terms of states where we've seen an increase in claims, Georgia, Michigan, Arizona, Texas, and it's broad across the industry, trade, social assistance, healthcare, hotels, retail, you name it.
It's the worst stretch of job losses in American history. Some economists say the unemployment rate could reach as high as 20% later this month. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo today extending his stay-at-home order until May 15th, joining the mayors of Los Angeles and Washington, D.C.
I don't want to project beyond that period. That's about 1 month. 1 month is a long time.
And Britain today extended its national lockdown for at least another 3 weeks. I'm Christopher Cruz. U.S. home building activity collapsed in March as the coronavirus spread Housing starts dropped 22.3% from February.
The Commerce Department says home groundbreakings last month came in at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.2 million units, down from 1.56 in February. Construction of single-family houses fell 17.5%, while apartment and condo starts were off by 32.1% from a month ago. March saw a 6.1% drop in the completion of homes being constructed, which means many homes are being left half-built. Construction activity will likely continue to slow. There was also a 6.8% drop in permits to start construction in March. Scott Carr, Washington.
And how is the market responding to the news that 5.2 million people applied for first-time unemployment benefits last week? Not bad. The Dow is down less than 0.75%. I'm Christopher Cruz.
It's time to check the roads.
From the Lerner and Rowe Traffic Studio. This report sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance, where you only pay for what you need. The accident on I-15 northbound at Lake Mead Boulevard. Vehicles remain off to the right. A crash at Sahara east of I-15 in the clearing stage, but still active. In the meantime, you can use an alternate to get around like Charleston or Spring Mountain instead. And also an accident on Rancho southbound at Sahara. Vehicles remain off to the right. Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your coverage so you only pay for what you need. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
Get the rest you deserve with Helix Sleep. Helix makes personalized mattresses to fit your unique body type and sleep preferences and give you the best sleep of your life. Go to helixsleep.com and get up to $200 off mattress orders.
In the front, we'll take out that tree, install a new fence.
You're gonna call 811, right?
Isn't that just for excavators?
No, dude. Calling 811 is for excavators, owners, contractors, anyone. Natural gas lines and other utilities can be buried anywhere. Call 811 2 working days before any digging project to get all underground lines marked for free.
Thanks, deep-voiced narrator.
You're welcome, dude. Brought to you by Southwest Gas.
Sam and Ash here. It's been said that courage is grace under pressure.
And let's show the world that Las Vegas can get through this with courage and be nice to one another.
The day will come, soon we hope, that we'll look back on this time and say, when the world was down, Las Vegas pulled together. We helped each other, and we came back stronger than before.
We're Sam and Ash, and we're here to help.
Call us at 702-820-1234 or visit samanash.com.
Because you deserve what's right.
What if there was a place where you could buy hard-to-find items like plastic gloves, toilet paper, paper towels, and face masks, restaurant-quality eggs, milk, produce, and other essential items, plus beer, wine, and liquor, without ever having to leave your vehicle? Welcome to BoardwalkLiquors.com, an all-new drive-through liquor store. Another boardwalk. I'm Derek Stonebarger from Rebar, and we've just reinvented ourselves as BoardwalkLiquors.com. Simply place an order online and then pull into our drive-through liquor and essentials store on Main Street during our pickup hours. Our clearly marked staff will confirm your ID and complete your order. We hope we'll all get reopened as quickly as we were closed, but if not, we'll be here for you with timely innovations like our vacuum-sealed charcuterie board to go and our 6-pack of ice-cold brown bag mystery beers for just $10. Get your orders in right now for this weekend's drive-through pickup at BoardwalkLiquors.com.
Boardwalk. 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON, the talk of Las Vegas. The opinions of the hosts on KDWN are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of this station, its management, or Beasley Media Group.
Hello, everyone. This is President Trump, the greatest president in the history of presidents. And the only show I listen to is the top-rated show, Sharp and Shapiro. They are the best.
Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
Oh, yeah, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. Thank you, Mr. President. Boy, am I old. That's right. Today's the big 4-0, baby. I'm no longer young anymore. You know, JD's still in his early 30s. I'm old. I'm 40 years old.
I'm actually approaching my mid-30s.
Well, whatever. You're still a millennial.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to get out there. You're still young. I'm old. That was really fun last segment. We had the President of the United States wishing me a happy birthday. Now we have two local celebrities on the line. This is going to be a lot of fun. It's good to mix things up a little bit. You know, you do 3 hours of coronavirus every day. It makes you go nuts. So it's nice to have a little bit of fun. But anyway, the two we have with us on the line right now, one of whom is a longtime magician who I've known for a long time. He's done a show for over a decade over there at Four Queens. Mike Hammer. Mike, are you there?
Yep, just hanging out with Jan Reuven here in prison.
That's very funny. The other person we have on the line right now is better looking than Mike Hammer. I will say that. She is the former Miss Nevada, and she is actually now running as a politician. I do support her. Her name is Lisa Song Sutton. Lisa, are you there?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing as good as I can do, celebrating my birthday with these idiots from from the Vegas Steak. Well, thank you, both of you, for joining us. Here's what I think I want to do. I want both of you to sing me happy birthday separately, and then we're all going to vote on who did a better job. Is that fair for both of you?
Oh, that
sounds good.
She can sing. I can't sing.
Well, let's do ladies first. Let's go to Mike Hammer. Mike, you're first. Since Mike is the magician, and I think he's a huge underdog, Lisa, are you okay with Mike singing first? Is that okay with you?
Absolutely. Please go ahead.
I didn't know this was a competition. I just went to bed 3 hours ago. Jeez, I woke up for this stupid
What do you mean you went to
no
bed?
Excuses. No excuses, Mike.
Did you know this was a competition? I didn't know.
What do you mean? You don't like competition, Mike? You're a very competitive guy. What are you afraid of here?
Oh man, she could sing. Why couldn't you put me on with somebody like where's Joe DiDomenico? I'll sing with him. The Trump impersonator. All right, I'll do it.
All right, go, Mike. You're on the spot.
She should go first.
No, you're not going to bow out of this thing. You're not going to bow out of this thing, Mike.
Right.
Mike, I'm confident in your abilities.
Okay. So am I starting? No.
Let's just have dead air for 10 minutes. That's all. Let's just have 10 minutes of dead air.
Count him in, guys. Help him out. Count him in.
All right, let me get in the right key here. Hey! Okay, we got it. Oh my God, this is funny as hell. Oh man. Okay, I'm good. All right. What was that freaking key?
That was A.
Okay. Happy birthday. Oh man, this
One
is
bar will do.
Happy
What is
birthday
going on?
to you. What's that?
Lisa wants to know what all of our listeners want to know. What the hell is going on? What are you doing?
Dude, there's a piano. I could play the piano. I could do that. All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to freaking Brian Shapiro. Happy birthday, waking me up before my bedtime even went. Happy birthday to you.
All right, good job.
Yeah.
Yay!
Good job. That wasn't so bad.
That was very, very good, Mike.
Okay,
It
so
was terrible.
no, it wasn't
No.
bad. On a scale of 1 to 10, start with JD Sharp. What would you give him?
Well, it's not. We have to wait for Lisa to go.
Oh, you want to wait?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and
Okay.
then
All right. Fair enough.
We'll do it at once.
All right. So
Okay, scoring is at the end, and
Yes.
and are we? Is there a wager here? Is there a prize for the winner?
if Mike Hammer wins, I will promote his show and give him. I will give him a couple minutes to promote his show if he wins. Lisa, if you win, I'll give you a couple minutes to promote your run as a politician. Does that sound good?
Sounds fair. Sounds
All right.
good.
All right. So
Even though we just did both.
yeah, we did both. we did both anyway.
A couple more minutes.
We'll give you an extra time. Okay, so now we have former Miss Nevada, the very beautiful and talented Lisa Song Sutton. Lisa, take it away.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brian. Happy birthday to you.
Whoa! I was not expecting that. That was Mike, she made you look really bad. Okay, wait, I can't I can't influence the judges.
Come on.
I'm sorry, that was inappropriate. I cannot influence the judges.
That's
I
true,
apologize. All right, so let's go to
You may have just disqualified Lisa accidentally.
All right, let's go to JD Sharp. You're gonna be judging Mike Hammer first.
I'm judging her. She won.
All right, put him on hold, Sean.
All right, JD, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give? What would you give them? Listen, when it comes to eating razors and his magic tricks down at Four Queens, I'd give him a 10. But when it comes to his singing, JD, what would you give him there?
You know, I would give Mike Hammer a solid 4.
How is that solid?
Yeah.
That's like saying, what grades do my son get in school? I'll give him a solid F+.
Yeah, just Fs.
That is not
firm.
What is solid about that?
A firm 4, as opposed to like a 3.8 or a 4.2 or
You know,
5.
how long do you hit your golf drives? I hit it a solid 55 yards. What is that? What is that?
I look at it like Dave Portnoy does his pizza reviews. So I'm giving my camera a 4.
All right, I don't know what that means.
A 4.0.
but okay. All right, fine. Fair enough. All right, our producer is Jason Stein.
Well, what did Lisa get?
No, he's not voting on Lisa yet.
Just Mike?
But he gave Mike a quote unquote solid 4.
I'm giving Mike. I'm giving Mike a couple extra points here, for 2 reasons. 1, he's on 3 hours sleep, and 2, he insulted Brian while he was doing it, which I appreciate. So I'm going to give him a solid 6.
All right, Mike. I'll be honest with you. That's actually not bad. I'll be honest with you, Mike.
Why did you say solid? Why did you just say a 6?
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. Mike, here's the truth. I would have given you at least an 8 if you actually did play the piano, but you wussed out. You didn't play the piano for whatever reason because you couldn't get the octave right. So instead of giving you an 8, I'm going to give you a solid 5.
Solid.
So
Who starts this solid? You mean I could have gotten a 5.4? Wow.
Yes.
This is awesome.
Well, you did insult me, so that brought you down 1 point at least. Stein appreciated that. But if you played the piano, you would have done better. All right, so now we're going to go to Lisa Song Sutton. Mike, any last comments there? What do you think about the judges' grades on you? What would you say to that?
I think it's rigged. You hired a prettier, a better singer, and clearly you guys are biased towards politicians. So I think
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm biased towards magicians.
Brian's also a extremely flaming liberal, and Lisa Song Sutton is running for the conservative.
That's not true. Lisa, do you think I'm a flaming liberal? Be honest.
I think you and I sometimes, differ on ideological viewpoints, but I think you're a wonderful person who cares about the community, and that's where you and I align.
See, and that's why I'm supporting Lisa.
Oh, she's got my vote. She's already good for politics.
All right. That's a good answer, Lisa. I like that. So you might have a future career.
Well, it says something when someone who is as left-wing as you are supports someone like Lisa Song.
And I'm not left-wing.
That says a lot about Lisa Song Sutton.
All right. Well, JD, why don't you give her a grade? What would you give her?
I'll give her an 8.3.
A 0.3. Okay, I wonder
8.3.
I wonder what the difference was. Why you didn't give her an 8 and it was an 8.3.
An 8.3.
Okay, solid, not solid then.
Why didn't you give her a solid 8?
Yeah, a good question.
Better than an 8, not as good as a 9.
All right, 8.3. JD Stein is our producer. Go ahead, Stein.
That is a 9. She was right on key. She was awesome.
I thought that Lisa's performance was sultry and very good. I'm giving her a solid 8.
I am giving her a 9.9.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I could hit on her better than that. What the hell?
What did Hammer just say?
He just said that he could hit on her better than that.
That's true. Well, here.
Because Stein tossed in the sultry.
I am giving her a 9.9. It would have been a 10 if it was in person, but, we're during coronavirus, so it's difficult. I'm giving her a 9.9.
I wish I could have said happy birthday to you in person.
It's not your fault.
You guys should Zoom.
Next time, maybe. All right. Well, Mike, I'm going to give you an opportunity, Mike, to plug your show as well. But Lisa gets to go first because Lisa just won handily. I mean, she doubled up your score solidly, might I add. So, Lisa, tell us about, you're running for office here in Las Vegas. Tell us about it.
Yeah. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I'm, certainly not a career politician by any means. I'm an attorney to an entrepreneur, and I have several small businesses here in the Valley. And 2020 is the year. This is the year for private sector individuals like myself to come off the sidelines and stand up for our communities and stand up for what we feel is right. And, I'm just so grateful to have this opportunity to do so and have the overwhelming support that we've received from the community, from voters. That message is really resonating. People are tired of career politicians. They're tired of kind of the same old. They want fresh. They want new. They want, someone who has a track record of giving back to the community without any sort of political lean or agenda. And that's what my candidacy is about. And so I'm just really grateful for the opportunity. And you can learn more at lisafornevada.com.
And you're doing a fantastic job considering the circumstances with your campaign.
And that is Congressional District 4.
Correct.
She's running as a Republican in the primary, and she's trying to unseat, what's his name? Horford.
Stephen Horsford.
Stephen Horsford.
Yeah.
Horsford.
And, Mike Hammer would not be a good politician because he would insult everybody. He would be the Don Rickles. He would be literally the Don Rickles of politicians, but Mike does a great show downtown. Mike, tell us a little bit about that. I know you haven't done a show there recently.
No, I'm running against Lisa because I'm bad with people, and I'd like to punish them for what we're going under right now. So you can find me in Congress at lisasong.com. You guys cannot see me at all right now. 5 days a week, you cannot see me 5 days. What a terrible time to have to plug a show, Brian. Nice call.
So what do you do? Do you do magic tricks in your bathroom or something? Like, what are you doing to stay sharp?
Stay sharp. Oh, man. Honestly, like, this is the worst because even when we open up again, my show's downtown at Four Queens Casino. Been there over 10 years, but even when we open, who's going to travel now? You know what I mean?
True.
So, I don't know. This whole thing's kind of, it's to be safe, I suppose. So, we'll just do what we got to do. I'm doing at-home workouts.
Oh, that's cool.
And walking my dog. So
have you perfected or have you put together any new tricks you're going to drop on your audience when your show comes back up?
Yeah, I have been. I've got this one thing. It's like, remember the old Russian roulette with the gun?
Yeah.
Well, I've got 6 vials. One contains coronavirus, and the other just contains regular tap water. So
my understanding is Mike is also perfecting and learning how to juggle balls. That's my understanding. That's what Murray Sawchuk told me.
I'm a real ball juggler.
All right.
You should have Murray. I could be him in singing.
I bet you probably could. That'll have to be another time. But hey, Lisa, Mike, you guys are good friends.
Birthday, man.
Thank you. You guys are great friends, and I want to thank you both for taking the time to come on and wish me a happy birthday. You guys are awesome, and wish you both luck. Especially you, Lisa. Not really Mike. He's already got all the luck. But no, in all
Lisa, you got my vote.
Lisa's got my vote too. Lisa, Mike, thank you guys. I appreciate both of you, and thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, Brian. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There you go. Lisa Song Sutton, running for office, District 4, former Miss Nevada. Mike Hammer, who I've known for over a decade. I can't believe I still know this guy. He does a show.
I can't believe he still talks to you.
I know. It's incredible. That was a lot of fun. That actually was a lot of fun. I appreciate both of them coming on. All right. By the way, Oscar Goodman, the former mayor of Las Vegas, has agreed to come on at 10:45 coming up here in a little bit to sing me happy birthday. So we got it from every direction here. But coming up next, we got to get to a little serious talk. A Michigan protest. That's right. People are protesting this government shutdown, and they came in droves in Michigan. We're going to talk about that coming up next. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
So I don't know if you saw this, but there's just this big study about anxiety among us. Really interesting in this study about what can keep us up at night. One of the top stressors out of all the things to worry about is paying for health care. A huge majority of us say we're worried about that. It's totally understandable, but there's an affordable alternative to health insurance. It's MediShare. It's a Christian healthcare sharing ministry, and it has worked beautifully for more than 25 years. And not only do people save lots of money, they get access to a huge network of doctors. They get to take advantage of 24/7 live access online where they can talk to a doctor and even get prescriptions. And of course, there is the savings. With MediShare, the typical family saves $500 a month. That can help you sleep easier too. There's a lot to love about it. No wonder it's grown so much. Here is the number to find out more. Call 844-91-BIBLE. That's 844-91-BIBLE. 844-91-BIBLE.
101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN, the talk of Las Vegas. Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro. We do have to get to some serious news. Oscar Goodman will be joining us at the bottom of the hour. Comedian George Wallace at the top. Charlene Carabio. So a lot of great guests coming up here. And we have Dina Titus coming on the show tomorrow. But, if you've looked around, there have been some protests. There was one on the Strip not that long ago in protest of Steve Sisolak's order of no 10 or more people gathering, in one group. We had this Michigan protest where hundreds of people gathered. I find it funny that they want everything to reopen, yet they were still wearing masks.
It was thousands. It was tens of thousands. It was. I
didn't know it was that
It was a lot of people.
Well, regardless, yeah, a lot of people did show up to this protest. And look, there's some people that think that we should reopen the economy tomorrow. I think it's completely and utterly ridiculous. But here's what Senator John Kennedy had to say. He declared on the Tucker Carlson Tonight show that the U.S. economy must reopen for business amidst this coronavirus pandemic, even as he acknowledged that the result would be that the COVID-19 virus will spread faster. Have a listen to this.
When we end the shutdown, the virus is going to spread faster. That's just a fact. And the American people understand that. So when we open up, and we're going to have to, and somebody's got to make the call.
Is John Kennedy the next guy that's going to say, I'm willing to die to open up the economy?
Yes,
is he one of those guys that's the next guy that's going to say that?
Because he makes he makes a decent point there.
No, he
but
doesn't.
Yes, he actually does.
No,
Brian.
he's a dope.
Brian, we don't know if this is helping, if mitigation is helping. We don't know that if you go to the grocery store, if you're not getting the virus there, and if staying at home and being in lockdown and not going to events is helping. We have no idea because we don't have complete data. I just wish John Kennedy didn't sound like that.
JD, and somebody's got to make the call.
Yeah, someone who sounds like that. It's very hard to take them serious.
JD,
I wish he didn't sound.
I wish he didn't sound like that. JD, I wish he didn't say it's going to spread faster if we open up the economy. Do you understand what he said?
We don't even know if that's the case.
Well, he's a moron.
We have no idea.
John Kennedy is an idiot.
That's no problem, Brian. Right now, we've got 22 million people. 22 million. Are unemployed in the United States.
There you go again with the unemployment numbers over the health and of the nation.
I'm sorry. Do you know what that translates to?
Not going to go there. I'm not going to talk unemployment numbers to death, so I'm not going to do that.
Well, you need to.
Well, no, I don't.
Because they translate.
No, I don't. Yes, it's insensitive.
Yes, it's not insensitive, Brian.
Okay, no, I'm not.
No, it is not.
All right, well, we'll talk about this in a second.
And that is why you are a severe left winger.
Okay.
Do you know that?
I'm a severe left winger.
Yes.
Because I care more.
Because you never factored in the economy.
Okay, I get it. If I can talk now. I'm a severe left winger because I want people to be safe and I don't want the economy to reopen until the doctors and the professionals. Hold on. You got the mic up to your mouth again. I know you don't like it when I say don't interrupt me, but you interrupt me every 4 seconds. Okay, you're a severe right winger for doing that. Okay, the bottom line is that I don't want the country to reopen until I know we are safe. Okay, I don't care if the entire world is unemployed. As long as it's dangerous to be out there, I don't care. The whole world could be unemployed. So don't give me that unemployment crap and then compare it to people that are dead because it's insensitive. It's wrong. Right. Hold on. And when you're 6 feet underneath the ground, those people that are 6 feet underneath the ground, they're not going to have jobs either. Okay, they'll be unemployed as well. You're damn right. I keep saying that because 30,000 people have died in this country.
If the entire world was unemployed, we would not have a radio show.
Okay, you get what
I'm saying.
You
would not have a place to live.
You get that's ridiculous.
No. What you're saying is, I mean, Brian, considering the fact that unemployment's about to hit 17%.
Okay, yep. So let's care more about people working than people dying. That makes complete sense.
I'm saying people not working leads to people dying.
That's absurd.
And people are not working.
What study would show that?
Because of incomplete data.
Show me a study that shows that. Where did you see that? That if you're unemployed, you're going to die.
That is basic common sense.
No. Show me a study. You talk about the numbers all the time.
Absolutely, yes.
You talk about the numbers.
The actual numbers.
Where are the numbers that show that?
For every 1% increase in unemployment, 37,000 people die. So if we get up to 17% unemployment, what is that math?
So let's
that's almost 600. That's 20 times the people that have died so far in the country. 3,000 of which in New York State were apparently because all these families were doctors. All these families were doctors. Oh, my grandfather had a fever of 104. He must have COVID.
So let's put the unemployment numbers ahead of people's safety. That makes a lot of sense.
You have to factor all of it in together.
Okay. Let's put unemployment numbers ahead of people's safety. That's exactly what you're doing.
Let me ask you a question. How many people right now at home do you think are drinking alcohol?
I have no idea because unlike you, I don't speculate.
No. Do you think that alcohol consumption right now is up or down in the country?
Well, I would imagine it's up. That doesn't mean people are dying.
It is up by 30%.
So because people are drinking at home, we should open up the economy.
As of yesterday,
how many people are drinking at bars?
It was announced by the CDC.
That's absurd. How many people are drinking at bars?
If you drink alcohol at home,
how many people are drunk driving?
Because you've been interrupting me for the last minute and a half.
You're not making any sense.
I am making sense. Right? No, I'm saying it was announced that if you are at home drinking right now, you are much more susceptible to get the virus than if you weren't. Did you know that?
I have no idea what you're
Were you
talking
aware of
about.
that fact?
So if I'm drinking a beer right now, I'm more susceptible. Do you realize how ridiculous that sounds?
The CDC announced it yesterday, Brian.
If you're going out and getting alcohol, yes, but if you're drinking in your house,
if you're drinking alcohol, like if you're drinking alcohol,
how can it,
on a consistent
how is that
basis,
possible if you're in quarantine?
it makes you more susceptible to get the virus whenever you go anywhere.
How is
Brian.
that possible if you're in quarantine?
It adds to the chance you're going to get
All
the virus
Well, I have
because
another-
your immune system is compromised at that point.
Well, I have some more audio I want to play for you. Indianapolis radio host Tony Katz asked Indiana Republican Governor Trey Hollingsworth to respond to critics who might say reopening the economy will get people killed. Have a listen to this audio.
It is policymakers' decision to put on our big boy and big girl pants and say, this is the lesser of these two evils, and it is not zero evil, but it is the lesser of these evils, and we intend to move forward that direction. That is our responsibility, and to abdicate that is to insult the Americans that voted us into office.
I got to tell you, man, I'm just so frustrated. Listen, the first thing I'll say, and then we'll open up the phone lines, which is 702-257-5396. Again, if you want to be a part of the program, that number to call in is 257-5396. It's one thing to disagree with someone when it comes to politics. It's one thing to say to yourself, boy, that person's really ignorant, but you know what? It doesn't really affect me. This is different. And again, I compare it to drunk driving. You get inside your car, you're drunk. It's a decision that you're making, and you're playing Russian roulette with society, and you're putting everybody at risk. If you think that we should reopen the country tomorrow, people are going to die. It is as simple as that. It is the virus that is going to dictate when we reopen things, not a politician, not people on the right that are saying, we're going to go crazy and we're going to protest. Keep protesting. It's not going to do any good. The bottom line is, it is the healthcare professionals and the experts that are going to say and deem when it is healthy and when it is okay and safe to reopen the economy. And I am sick and tired of people that are ignoramuses, that are dumb, that think we should reopen the economy now, that also think that Steve Sisolak should have never closed down the Strip. If you want to debate when the Strip should reopen and you want to debate when the economy should reopen, fine. That's a fair debate. But to say that we should reopen it now is completely and utterly ridiculous. It makes absolutely and positively no sense. And I don't want dumb, ignorant people to put my life in jeopardy. And that is what happens when somebody gets into a car and starts driving drunk. And that is exactly what will happen if these idiots think that we should reopen the economy today. If you want to debate May 1st, if you want to have that conversation, that's fine. But there are morons out there that are holding these rallies and are, protesting in Michigan when it's the third highest state in the country for coronavirus cases, and these idiots are wearing masks. This is how dumb some of these people are. They're showing up to this protest wearing masks, saying they want everything to reopen. Do you realize how the irony of that and how dumb some of these people are? It is completely ridiculous. Here's what we're going to do. We got to take a break. But when we come back, I want to take some phone calls on this. 702-257-5396. JD comes from a different opinion than where I'm coming from, but we want to know what you think here. So again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation, 702-257-5396. Again, that number, 257-5396. Quick rundown coming up here in just a few minutes. We'll be joined by Oscar Goodman, the former mayor of Las Vegas, will be joining us. Stand-up comic George Wallace coming up in hour number 3. And showgirl Charlene Carabio, very, very talented singer and dancer, will be calling in hour number 3 as well. So we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get to more of your phone calls at 257-5396. Again, that number, 257-5396. Your calls on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
Special report coronavirus update. I'm Christopher Cruz. Another 5.2 million people applied for first-time unemployment benefits last week, bringing the total for the past month to 22 million.
It's the largest and fastest rise in first-time jobless claims since the Department of Labor started tracking them in 1967. Many state unemployment systems are overwhelmed. In New York, the fund has enough money to last just 10 weeks.
Correspondent Steve Kastenbaum in New York. The Commerce Department reports housing starts dropped 22.3% in March from February. Washington correspondent Scott Carr says there was even more bad housing-related news.
March saw a 6.1% drop in the completion of homes being constructed, which means many homes are being left half-built. Construction activity will likely continue to slow. There was also a 6.8% drop in permits to start construction in March.
President Trump expected to announce new guidelines today aimed at getting the economy going. I'm Christopher Cruz.
So, I don't know if you saw... It's time to check the roads.
From the Letterman Road Traffic Studio.
This report sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance, where you only pay for what you need. Watch for slowing for a crash reported on Jones at Tropicana. Also an accident with injury sustained on Upland Boulevard at Jones. It's going to be just south of the 95. And a crash reported on the 95 in the West Valley northbound side at Ann. Another accident, this one on the 215 Southern Beltway eastbound at Rainbow at the on-ramp. Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your coverage so you only pay for what you need. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
Now more than ever, we need companies that have our back. Homey just launched in Las Vegas and is already saving us thousands in real estate fees, and now they're helping our community in partnership with United Way of Southern Nevada. For each home bought or sold with Homey, they are donating $500 to the United Way to provide rent and mortgage assistance. And if you have to sell your home because of COVID-19, Homey will rebate their $2,500 listing fee back to you. Text JD to 88588 to buy or sell with Homey. Homey really does have our back.
Attention oxygen users. Are you on oxygen therapy and still using tanks? Life is hard enough struggling to breathe. Don't waste your breath on dealing with bulky, dangerous tanks.
Call 800-771-5974 now.
And try the Inogen 1 G4 oxygen concentrator risk-free for 30 days. Tanks are a hassle. They hamper mobility and are difficult to transport, not to mention risky. The Inogen 1 G4 oxygen concentrator is compact and makes its own oxygen, making your life easier. If you call right now, we'll send you a free information kit that outlines all the benefits. Plus, you can get a 30-day risk-free trial to see for yourself. But don't wait. This exclusive radio offer won't last. Call for your free information kit on the Inogen 1 G4 oxygen concentrator. Ditch the hassles of tanks and experience the freedom of living a mobile life again.
Call 800-771-5974. That's 800-771-5974. 800-771-5974.
101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON, the talk of Las Vegas. Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. I did promise we would get through some of these phone calls. I know a lot of people have been waiting patiently on hold. Oscar Goodman coming up here in about 10 minutes. Let's get right to it, man. I promised we would get to the calls, so let's start off with Mike. Mike, you're first up on the Vegas Take. Go. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
All right. Hello. I just want to say, man, this is, to me, this is totally asinine, man. They closed down everything. They didn't have a plan to reopen anything. People are struggling. They can't get through to the unemployment line. This is like amateur night at the Apollo. I mean, no thought was put in. Well, what are we going to do with all these people claim unemployment? How are we going to do the system is going to be like.
Can I ask you a question? Are you asking these questions? Are you asking these questions to the President of the United States?
No, Nevada.
How is that the president's fault?
Hold on a second. Because it's happening throughout the country, not just Nevada. So my question to you is,
that's not his problem.
That's really none of this is his problem.
That's why governors exist.
Also,
right?
I would also ask you. You say, why isn't there a timeline to reopen, sir? It's an easy answer. It's the virus that will dictate that. We don't put a timeline on something, but we don't know where we're going to be in 2 weeks.
Okay, Brian, can I tell you about a virus, please? Can I tell you
yes,
about a
doctor.
virus?
Yes, doctor, please.
My personal
doctor.
life?
Yes, doctor, please do.
2018, 37.9 million people worldwide were diagnosed with HIV. Of those people, 8.1 million didn't know they had HIV.
Okay.
So why are you not protesting about testing for HIV/AIDS? I don't hear you on here talking about that.
That is a ridiculous. That is a.
Because it's not an election
If I
year.
can respond,
People did
that
not
is
know that they had HIV.
that is a
8.1 million.
ridiculous response and a ridiculous analogy
not a
comparing this to HIV. By the way, right now we pretty much have a cure for HIV. Have a nice day.
No, we do not.
Have a nice day. Oh, really? Well, Magic Johnson is a pretty much an example of there are medications out there. You could live a long, normal life. Obviously, you have absolutely no idea what you're talking
The
about.
cure is money, by the way.
702-257-5396. Troy, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, Troy.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, first I need to retract something I said on your show a couple of weeks ago. We had a montage, or you guys had a montage of some Fox people, and I said that they should not be held accountable for what they say.
Yes, sir.
I was wrong. That was a stupid thing to say. I take that back. I think everybody needs to be held accountable for what they say, and that starts with me. So,
well, I appreciate that.
Probably say I was wrong. So.
Well, I appreciate that, Troy. That's nice of you to say. And by the way, you know me, Troy. I'm not just talking about Fox News. Everybody and anybody should be held accountable on either side. You know,
I
you know.
agree.
Can I say this? Who's the doctor? Dr. Drew. Do you know who Dr. Drew is, Troy? Okay, we might have lost Troy. Dr. Drew is a guy, you know, he's been a doctor. He's done shows for a long time. He said a month and a half ago a lot of things about the coronavirus undermining it, and I give Dr. Drew a lot of credit because he's one of the few people that apologize and says, whoa, I was wrong. I apologize for my statements. 702-257-5396. Graham, you're next on the Vegas Take. Go ahead.
What's up, Graham?
Hey, just to go on to this mitigation, I did quick background. I was in the pharmaceutical business for 25 years. The reason why the mitigation is working is we do not have a vaccine for this thing yet, nor do we have any drug therapies that'll work on it. So the only option we have is quarantine. Otherwise, this thing's going to spread 10 times worse than it is right now.
Right.
And I'm not happy with what Sisolak did, but I don't think he had any choice.
Agree. 100% I agree with you. And by the way, Graham, I don't always agree with Steve Sisolak, but I give him a little bit of credit for closing down the strip when he closed it down. So, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more on that one. I don't agree with everything, but he made the right decision. 257-5396. Let's go to Ed. Ed, you are next up on the Vegas Take.
What's up, Ed?
Yes, a lot of people compare this with a war. If we were actually invaded by a foreign army, we wouldn't hesitate to put 1 million, 2 million young people out there to die for that invasion.
That's a good point.
Here, the invasion is against older people. Since older people are making the decision, they're terrified about dying. We're all going to die. I'm 80 years old. I'm going to die. This thing has to sweep through the older generation.
Ed, hold on a second.
And
Ed,
wipe them out.
Ed,
and
if I may.
Ed,
if I may, stay on the line, Ed. We're going to keep you on the line. If I may. You do understand that there are also younger people that have died from this virus, correct?
Yes, very few.
Well, so first of all, do you understand that there are people that have gone through cancer in their 30s, that have got one woman who went through stage 4 breast cancer, those who have poor immune systems, regardless of what their age is, they're dying. So what is your point? Just let old people die?
No, the point is that old people or the elderly population is dying at about a 9 to 10 times rate higher than the younger population. It's like in New York City, I think there's 120 deaths under the age of 40.
And again, my point would be
everybody else over the age of 40, and the standard. I mean, the average is 75 plus.
So the guy called in.
That's the average person that's dying of this virus, and that's a decent point. You know, by and large, the oldest people in the country have the most money. And a lot of politicians are in the age that this virus does affect, and I think you have to factor that in with what's going on.
What? Opening up the
no, just as to why what's taken place has taken place. A lot of very, very powerful people are those that this virus attacks or targets.
702-257-5396. Chris, you're next on the Vegas Take.
What's up, Chris?
How are you guys doing?
Good. What's on your mind? What's on your mind, Chris?
Hey, so I just wanted to. This has never happened in my lifetime, something this drastic in the United States or the world for that matter. And I understand everybody's freaking out, but, this is no time to be calling people names and acting like a bunch of idiots when people should just be sitting down and trying to help each other out.
I agree, Chris. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question then, Chris? And by the way, I don't necessarily disagree with you. So would you tell the president that same thing when he calls names of reporters, third-rate reporters during his coronavirus press conferences? Could that also apply to the president of the United States and some of our politicians?
That applies to everyone in general.
Okay, good.
But here's the thing with the media. These people a lot of them are asking the same question, prodding the same question.
Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Okay, good. Let's no, hold on. Let's go with that. Name me one inappropriate question that was asked in this coronavirus press conferences over the course of the last month, sir. One inappropriate question that you think was way over the top and inappropriate and would give the president the right to attack somebody. Give me one.
It's not that they're inappropriate. Some are, some
so
aren't.
So give me one. Okay, so give me one, and then we can break it down.
All you got to say is Paula Reed asking Anthony.
Well,
Fauci,
I asked the caller.
Asking Anthony Fauci if he was coerced to literally go up there and make that statement.
I asked the caller, so he doesn't need your help. Caller,
I'm giving it
give
to
me
him.
one example of a question that you think was inappropriate.
Listen, I'm going to keep this a calm conversation.
I'm very calm, sir. Sir, I'm very calm, sir. Sir, you made a claim about the media. I'm very calm. I'm asking you a very calm question. Hold on, if I could just finish. If I could just finish, and then we could have a two-way conversation. Give me one question that you think a reporter asked, since you have attacked the media, that you think was inappropriate in the last month. I've asked you 4 times now. It's a debate. You made a claim about the media. I'm very calm. Sir, with all due respect, please answer my question.
No, I'm not attacking the media. I'm saying there's people that ask the same question.
And give me one. Give me one.
What if
all right, get rid of this guy. I've asked him 4 times. Goodbye, sir. Have a nice day. Goodbye. I gave you 4 opportunities to answer, and you couldn't answer it. The media attacks Trump. Can you please give me one example of one question in a press conference? Oh, you want to get into an argument. No, you know what that means? I can't give you one because I'm a buffoon. 702-257-5396. Let's go to Lance. Lance, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's going on? Is it Lance?
Yeah, I've got a song that might be appropriate for the occasion.
Let's hear it. I love it. Maybe we can get a little bit of music in the background, too.
All right, Lance.
We always
come a long, long way to shorten the distance, to shorten the distance between you and me. Come a long, long way to shorten the distance between disagreement and agree. And if I may, I'd like to lower your resistance. I'd like to lower your resistance if I may. And if you'd like to stay, why don't you stop your resistance? Stop your resistance and play it my way. I've come a long, long way. Shorten the distance. To shorten the distance, I think you'll agree.
Shorten that distance, baby.
Come a long, long way, and I hope I've accomplished my mission. That there's no more disagreement between you and me.
No
more disagreement that we can see.
Yeah, all right. Lance, very nicely done.
I agree, baby.
Very nicely done, Lance.
Yeah, outstanding, Lance.
You know what?
Really, really good.
You make people laugh, and you hear some music, and people get a smile on your face. You got me a smile on my face, Lance, so I appreciate it.
And I did not do a face palm.
Lance, very good job, my friend. You know what? Next week, I expect another song from you. Is that okay?
Oh, next week, OJ, you cut up you. What do you think of that?
Oh, I actually do like that. I don't know if OJ would appreciate it, but I appreciate it.
I know it, but he's going around town having a good time, and
I know, Lance.
I got this song, and if you could promote it, and if we can sell it,
let's do it next week. Lance, you're on.
Okay.
Call us next week, buddy. We appreciate you. Okay, thank you. We appreciate you. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Mayor Oscar Goodman. Take a quick break. Be back right after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
How much money would you like to save just by doing something you're already doing? How about 40%? With Allstate, safe drivers can save 40% just by doing something they're already doing. Driving safe. That's right, 40% just by driving safe. Visit Allstate.com or call a local agent for a quote today and see just how much you can save when you drive safe with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Savings vary and based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
1015 FM, 720 AM, KDON, the talk of Las Vegas. Sean Hannity, weekdays noon to 3 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 1015 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. Glad you could join us on a Thursday. Coming up here in a few minutes, we'll be joined by stand-up comic George Wallace, and Charlene Carabio will be joining us in hour number 3 as well. But it's always a pleasure, especially to have a man like this on the line when it is my 40th birthday today. Wow, am I getting old. Oscar Goodman has been nice enough on short notice to join us on the line. Oscar, thank you so much for being here. How you doing?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brian. Happy birthday to you.
I love it.
Many more.
Yeah, I love it. Oscar, thank you. That was very nice of you.
It's all right. You'll be able to laminate that and save it.
I will. I'm going to use that as a promo. Oscar, what did you do on your 40th birthday?
My 40th birthday?
Yes.
Probably was sitting watching the San Diego Padres get beaten for the 43rd time that season.
That's not a horrible way to spend a 40th. So what advice would you...
Well, it wasn't bad because the hot dogs were good down there.
Hot dogs, Fenway Park.
A couple beers, some hot dogs, and who cares what the score is?
Were you drinking martinis back then, or when did you start drinking the martinis?
But I always drank my martinis before I went to the park. I wanted to get real loose, and then when I got to the park, I switched over to Bud and a couple of kosher hots, and I'm a happy camper.
I love it. So I have to ask you, how are you dealing with this coronavirus situation? Because we're all in quarantine, right, Oscar? And it's difficult. It's tough.
Right now we don't have a choice, unfortunately. My wife, who's the mayor, of course, she made a statement yesterday, and she firmly believes that it's so imperative that we get ourselves open again.
Yeah.
And doing business again, because the truth of the matter is, until there's a cure, some kind of a shot which will address the coronavirus, nothing's going to change. It's going to be out there. That's what happens to viruses. They stay out there. They come, they go, they subside, they burst out. And until that time, nothing's going to change. And to keep us under this quarantine is disastrous for a lot of different reasons, for the economy, of course. But also, I'm talking to people. They call me all the time, and their minds are shriveling on them. They're at home. They can't go out. They can't do anything that they did before, and they're really feeling it psychologically. So hopefully, the governor will loosen up, let folks go out. We're adults. We know what we're supposed to do. We wash our hands. We have the distance requirement. No problem. Everybody can follow that. But at the same time, I think we should be given the choice if we want to go to a nice restaurant and have a nice steak and socialize a little bit, even with the 6 feet requirement, that we should be given the opportunity to do that. And I'm hoping that this will change very, very quickly, because I think the economy needs to bounce back. And if it doesn't happen quickly, it's going to get tougher every single day.
Oscar, what is your sense? And I didn't want to get into too many serious questions with you, because I appreciate you calling in and wishing me a happy birthday. It does mean a lot to me. And, I love you and your wife, and I have the tremendous amount of respect for both of you and everything you've done for this city.
You.
I really do. I really do. But I have to ask you this then. If you're the governor, and you're not, but if you were, how would you have handled this? Do you think Sisolak made the right decision to close down the Strip when he did?
The truth of the matter is, I was sitting up there in the mayor's office for 12 years, and I see my wife up there. She's now in her 3rd term. And until you're sitting in that seat, until you're in that chair, you really don't know the various pressures that are on you. And so I always chose not to comment or criticize somebody else because I know that I called my shots, and if the people didn't like it, they could have voted me out of office. If they liked it, they could vote me in again, that kind of thing. And
right.
That's the only way that you can look at these things. You have to do what you really believe is right in your heart. And
sure.
The problem is this. The problem is we're talking about people getting sick. We're talking about people dying. But that happens all the time, unfortunately. I love life. I love to enjoy every single minute. I hope it lasts forever, so to speak. But the truth of the matter is everything is finite. And people have died over the years from the flu, and we haven't shut down the community because of the flu. They died as a result of Zika or whatever that was called.
Right.
And we didn't shut down the community. And it seems like every 3-4 years there's some kind of a pandemic which causes people to pass away. And nobody likes it. Nobody wants it. Everybody feels sorry. There are tragedies involved with each one of these deaths. But the truth of the matter is it's crippling our entire way of life here. And I think we have to be cognizant of that. We've got to be very, very careful as to how we limit people from doing what they want to do and what, with caution and with good sense, they may be able to do. Because nobody's showing me that places that haven't closed down are doing worse than places that have closed down. And I know one thing, nobody has a cure for it yet. So I think we have to start living again.
Do you think that the media coverage of this has become political? And do you think that it would be covered through...
I'm not a theorist, conspiracy theorist. I don't know. I mean, you hear all sorts of things. You know, you turn on CNN, you get one side. You turn on Fox, you get another side. And that's up to the listeners. That's up to the public.
Sure.
The truth of the matter is, the bottom line, they don't have any cure.
No.
There's no exit plan. And right now we're in a state of limbo, which is destroying our economy.
Yeah, I agree. Oscar, I want to ask you this from a human perspective. You know how stressful and how demanding the job is as mayor. And now your wife being the mayor, how is she holding up in all this? Because I would imagine this, and she's doing a good job, but this is a very difficult and stressful time for her. How is she handling this whole situation? You would know better than anybody.
She's a very special lady, and I don't say that because she's my wife. I say it because I see what she does every single day. And I like to hope that I'm not a chauvinist, but she's remarkable. She's tougher than, people said that I used to represent these reputed mobsters and tough, reputed mafia guys, that kind of thing. She's tougher than any man that I've ever that I ever represented.
Even Lefty Rosenthal, really?
She's a tough. I mean, I love her more than life itself, but this is a tough lady. And
sure.
If I told people what she does, they would scoff. She's remarkable. She gets up early in the morning. She does all the housekeeping. My home is as clean as a whistle. She heads off to City Hall about 7 o'clock. She's never home when regular people come home. She's always doing something, talking about something, meeting with somebody. And then she comes home. You know how she relaxes? She cooks dinner. So figure that.
Wow. You're a lucky man, Oscar. I think that's fair to say.
Extremely lucky man.
I got 4 great children, wonderful grandchildren, wonderful in-laws. There's nothing I want. And when I say want, I mean there's nothing I need.
Sure.
And I don't desire anything other than what I have. And all I want is my friends and my family to have good health and to have the best possible life imaginable. That's all I want.
Very well said. I have to ask you this. I know how much you love this city, and I know how much you care about people in this city. Oscar, I'm driving down the strip the other day at night, and it's like spooky. We'll probably never see it again, at least I hope not, for the rest of our lifetime, where all the casinos are shut down. There's nobody on the strip. There's nobody on Fremont Street. You did a great job cleaning up downtown Fremont. I love it down there. And now, it's spooky. It almost feels like it's not real, right, Oscar? It feels like a movie or something. It's strange, isn't it?
They used to have these movies about the atomic bomb dropping and the whole community disappears and the streets were empty. We were out on a Sunday just driving around, and it looked the same way. No cars, no people walking. Even the dogs stayed home.
Yeah, I mean, it's bizarre. It's like we're living in bizarro world, right, Oscar? I mean,
well, it's a shame because it's a real world, and that's the world that we're in now. That's why we have to get back to doing things the old way and get back and living again. Because right now, I'm not sure when you're a prisoner in your own home, and I say that respectfully, that's really living.
Sure. No question. I want to ask you one more question, Oscar. And by the way, thank you so much for doing this on short notice. We appreciate it. There's a lot of people that look up to you, including myself. And there's a lot of people in Las Vegas that are very worried. They don't know if their local business is going to make it. They don't know if they're going to be able to put food on the table. Yes, there are programs out there that are helping people, and the stimulus check and unemployment benefits. Yes, that is true. But with that being said, I want you to talk to the locals here in Las Vegas and throughout the state that are listening and give them some advice, because there's, as you know, Oscar, there's a lot of people that are scared and maybe they're depressed, and there are a lot of people in different situations that are struggling here. I want you to talk to them and from your point of view and give them advice if you can.
Although nothing of this magnitude has happened to us, I remember back after 9/11, some 30,000 people were laid off in Las Vegas as a result of the economy, and believe it or not, the same conditions existed out there. There weren't any cars. Folks weren't driving in from Southern California. The planes were empty. And it took some time in order for us to come back. But the lesson is we did come back. We overcame the horror show of October 1, and we came back, and we're going to come back from this as well. I'll never forget my children, independently of one another, when we had the great recession here back in 2008, 2009, they said, "Dad, what should we do? Should we sell our home? Should we move?" And I said, "Wait a second." I said, "Do you love living in Las Vegas?" And they said, "Yes." I said, "Well, stay where you are, pay your mortgage, and it will all come back." And it did. And they made the right decision. They stayed in a place that has always rebounded, has always been able to recreate itself and address the needs of the day. And the same thing's going to happen here, but it better happen soon.
Well, Oscar, very well said. I cannot wait to go back to Beef, Booze, and Broads. It's one of my favorite restaurants.
Now you're talking.
Oh, I love that place. I love the skirt.
Maybe that'll be the first thing we do.
The skirt steak.
That'll be the first business open. Oscar's Steakhouse.
I hope so. I hope so.
The best martinis and the best big steaks.
The skirt steak there is second to none.
Come down and I'm buying.
Oh, that's nice of you. I might hold you to that, Oscar. That'll be my birthday dinner. I appreciate that.
Birthday gift,
I appreciate that, Oscar. I'm going to look forward to that. Please send my regards to your wife. I love you guys, and thank you so much for coming on.
Okay, you take care and happy birthday.
Thank you, Oscar. I appreciate that. That's really nice.
Oscar.
There you go. Mayor Oscar Goodman joining us online. Hey, I just got a free meal. I just got a free meal out of that interview. Oscar Goodman's going to buy me dinner at Beef, Booze, and Broads. That's more than anyone else is going to do for me. That's a good.
Can we come with?
Yeah, I don't know. No, it's a date.
Just you?
It's a date. He invited me. No, you're staying home. You stay home and you're in quarantine. And when the Las Vegas is opening up, I am going to Beef, Booze, and Broads.
Will you bring me a doggy bag?
I might do that. I might do that for you. By the way, that is a great restaurant. I love Oscar, by the way. I love him because he's honest. He's an honest guy. I don't agree with everything he just said. But I do have a tremendous amount of respect for him and a tremendous amount of respect for his wife. They work their asses off. They have their whole life. And while I don't agree with everything Carolyn Goodman has said over the course of the last few days and the last few months.
You heard what he said. 30,000 people lost their jobs from 9/11.
No, I understand.
We're looking at 400,000 in a week.
No,
he said that took a long time to come back from. So what do you think 13 times that's going to take, Brian?
Well, my response to that would be this. It also, you never come back from losing a loved one and somebody losing their life. And I know you want to shake your head, but the bottom line is I'm concerned about the health of Americans. Unemployment, yeah, it sucks if you lose your job. It sucks if you're in quarantine. It sucks more if you die.
You literally said that if the entire world lost their jobs, you would not care.
I did not say. You're saying something I didn't say.
You talk about saying something dangerous. That is the definition of a dangerous thing to say.
So let me just respond to what you just said, which is totally inaccurate. If the whole world lost their jobs, I didn't say I wouldn't care. If the whole world lost their jobs so that we could save millions of lives, I would be okay with. There's a fine line and a difference there. I want people to go back to work just as much as you do. I want the economy to open up and business to open up just as much as you. The difference, in my opinion, in your opinion, is this. The difference is this, and it is that I want us to be able to go out there and everything back to normal when the virus is not dangerous anymore. And it's a very simple opinion.
Is that when the virus is totally gone? Is that when there's a vaccine that prevents
tell you
us?
when it is.
That gives us a 60% chance of not
Okay,
getting the
I
virus?
will
Because
tell
that's
you
all a
when it is.
vaccine does?
Since we're not doctors here, I'll tell
No,
you.
I'm asking you when it's personal.
And I'm going to answer it. And it's not going to be my opinion, and it's not going to be a hypothetical, and it's not going to be Brian Shapiro thinks blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
When the doctors and the experts say that it is
Now, what if
okay.
some doctors say that it's okay in some states, and
Well, I
some
don't have-
doctors say it's okay in other states?
Because we have 20
and one side of the doctors are Democratic, and one side of the doctors are Republican. Then at that point, how do you make your decision?
Well, because I have 10 seconds, we have to go to
Okay.
break, and I don't have enough time to answer that question. Coming up next, we are going to be speaking with one of my favorite stand-up comedians. His name is George Wallace. I'll try to answer that question if you have time a little later in the show. George Wallace coming up next, everybody. You're listening to The Vegas Take.
Your home for Sean Hannity, KDWN Las Vegas, KKLZ HD2 Las Vegas, a Beasley Media Group station.
More staggeringly bad unemployment news from the Labor Department today.
Another 5.2 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits for the first time last week. That brings the total number of Americans who become unemployed to 22 million since the coronavirus pandemic began here. It's the largest and fastest rise in first-time jobless claims since the Department of Labor started tracking this in 1967.
Lenders have used up all $350 billion available for loans to small and mid-sized businesses to keep their workers on the payroll. Correspondent Bob Costantini says there's disagreement in Congress now about adding another $250 billion to the fund.
With Congress not set to come back until May 4th at the earliest, passing additional money will require unanimous consent during House and Senate pro forma sessions.
President Trump expected to announce new guidelines late this afternoon aimed at getting the economy up and running. He'll announce an easing of restrictions in some areas. I'm Christopher Cruz. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo today extended his stay-at-home order to May 15th because virus infections continue.
You still have 2,000 people every day about who are walking into a hospital for the first time or who are being diagnosed with COVID for the first time. And 2,000 is still a lot of people. But the good news is it means we can control the virus, right? We can control the spread.
Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. have already extended their orders until the middle of next month. Britain has extended its order for at least 3 more weeks. Schools, pubs, restaurants, and most shops there are closed. Late word actor Brian Dennehy has died. He was a versatile and award-winning character actor in movies and on stage. He died of natural causes in New Haven, Connecticut last night. He was 81. The Dow is off 190 points at this hour. I'm Christopher Cruz.
It's time to check the roads.
From the Leonard Road Traffic Studio.
This report sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance, where you only pay for what you need. Police with a crash reported on Jones Boulevard northbound at the 95, blocking the center lane. Expect delays or take an alternate like Decatur or Rainbow. Also a crash active at Jones Boulevard at Tropicana, still a factor. Use Rainbow at Torrey Pines there. And in northwest Las Vegas, a crash reported on Ann Road eastbound at the 95. Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your coverage so you only pay for what you need. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
Get the rest you deserve with Helix Sleep. Helix makes personalized mattresses to fit your unique body type and sleep preferences and give you the best sleep of your life. Go to helixsleep.com and get up to $200 off mattress orders.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
The opinions of the hosts on KDWN are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of this station, its management, or Beasley Media Group.
Hello, everyone. This is President Trump, the greatest president in the history of presidents. And the only show I listen to is the top-rated show, Sharp and Shapiro. They are the best.
Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take Sharp and Shapiro. Glad you could join us on a Thursday. You know, as I say all the time, during these difficult times, this coronavirus and everyone in quarantine, regardless of what your political beliefs are, you need to laugh, right? You need to remember how to smile again. And the guy we have with us on the line right now, he started his career in the late 70s as one of the best stand-up comics. He's been one of the best stand-up comics around for 40-plus years, maybe even longer than that. And one of my favorite comedians. As you know, he's performed for years on the Las Vegas Strip, and we're very lucky to have him on the line with us right now. The day of my 40th birthday, what a great birthday present to have George Wallace on the line. George, thanks for coming on, my man. How you doing?
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. 40 years old. I was 40 years ago. How you doing?
That was pretty good, George. Do you remember what you did?
7.6.
Do you remember what you did on your 40th birthday, George?
How the hell am I supposed to remember what happened 40 years ago? Let me tell you something. I don't know what I did on my last birthday last year. I know I'm enjoying life. I know that. I'm not in Las Vegas, even though I live in Las Vegas. I vote in Las Vegas. I'm at my home in Atlanta right now, in Buckhead. And I mean, like you say, what we're going through right now, my job and your job is to keep people laughing in some way, because laughter is healing for the soul. And
Sure.
It's pretty bad, but I'm just happy that I have the greatest job in the world, and I can come out and put a smile on people's faces. And you guys are doing that too, you know.
Thank you.
And especially in Las Vegas. If you can't laugh in Las Vegas, you really can't laugh anywhere, you know. And it's just good to laugh. When you stop laughing, you stop living.
You are so right. You are so right about that. So let me ask you, George, how are you dealing with this in quarantine? Like, what do you do to pass the day? How are you and your family holding up?
First of all, I'm here alone. My daughter drove by to see me yesterday, and I waved at her from the 25th floor. I told her, keep moving, keep moving. This social distance, the closest she's going to get. Keep moving. So I'm dealing with it. I'm doing things I don't normally do. I'm sitting here. Yesterday, I'm sitting there eating chicken and Cheerios. I'm doing crazy stuff.
Chicken and Cheerios?
Chicken and Cheerios. Yeah, chicken and Cheerios.
I've never heard of that before.
Me either. You bet you never heard of chicken and waffles. You never heard of chicken and waffles before 10 years ago, right? And
That's true.
What the hell is chicken and waffles? Yeah, and all of a sudden, ooh. When you got nothing else in your house to eat but chicken and Cheerios, you tend to do things. Hey, listen to me. There's something wrong with me, first of all. Let's make that perfectly clear. My refrigerator is talking. My refrigerator is on what? 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 What do you want now? There's not whatever's in here you put in here. Nothing.
So what television?
I'm having fun. I'm having fun with myself. Okay.
No, you're absolutely. I'm dying here. You're killing me. It's funny. So what do you watch on television when you're stuck in quarantine? What type of television are you watching these days?
Now, listen, you know I'm the most successful comedian you ever met. It's not how much money you make, it's how you enjoy your life while you're living. And I've been working for 44 years unstaged every night at 8 o'clock. I never had an opportunity to actually watch TV. But now, Netflix is killing me, man. They got some great programming on Netflix. And I'm watching a show called, some shows that I've never would have seen. Black Lightning, a black superhero. I'm watching a show called Uncorked with Courtney Vance. There's Ozark. They got the Tiger King. These are some stupid people. You know, you watch the alligator. What's the name of the people down, the swamp people down in Louisiana? You thought they were crazy. Now we got the Tiger King. So,
what do you think of that nut job, huh?
Listen, well, it keeps us laughing. It's entertaining us. It's entertaining the world, actually. So that's pretty good. And the little store next to the pawn shop. How about that? He was wanted to open up there.
Yeah.
So there's so much TV, so many things for a comedian to do. And like I said, we look at life differently, and you know, and everything. I'm just trying to write jokes to be ready when I come back to the West Gate to have some fun there. You know, that's my job, is just sit down and just. I think there's a joke in everything. I'm sorry. I know we go, but that's my job. That's what I do. You know,
that's what you do, and you're one of the best in the world at doing it. If you're just joining us, we're speaking with George Wallace. Hopefully, he'll be back soon at the West Gate. What's that? George.
Who you speaking with?
The legend, George Wallace. The legend.
You got him on the phone?
The legend. Yeah, the legend himself. We wanted Jerry Seinfeld. Well, we wanted Jerry Seinfeld, but he couldn't make it, so you were second up.
You just crossed the line now. You crossed the line.
Hey, come on now. You've been friends with Jerry. You were his roommate for years. Have you guys talked recently? How is he holding up in all this?
I bet you $20 if I talk to you in the next 5 minutes. he will be calling and interrupting our call. He won't talk on the phone with us because he's introverted. I'm extroverted. But we talk 8 times a day.
Do you really?
8 times.
What do you guys talk about every day?
Anything. We thank God for the cell phone that we can FaceTime, and we just love to. We don't have a lot of friends, believe it or not. We don't have a lot of friends, so we call each other for no reason whatsoever.
Wait, what do you mean you don't have a lot of friends? You guys are why would you say that? I don't understand. You're the nicest guy in the world. You're hilarious. You're a good dude. I don't know Jerry Seinfeld well, but I mean, I've met you before, and what do you mean you don't have a lot of friends? Why is that?
We don't. Comedians are crazy. We don't trust a lot of people. We don't. I don't know, but most comedians don't have a lot of friends. We work in front of thousands of people every night, but we don't. When it's time to socialize, we kind of keep to ourselves. I think being funny is serious business, and we like to just write our jokes. And I got good friends in Las Vegas. I got Earl Turner. We go out with. He's loony. Earl Turner, if you ever seen him, one of the greatest entertainers in Las Vegas, by the way.
Yep.
But I bet you I got about 2 or 3 friends in Las Vegas, and I'm in Atlanta right now, and I got a whole lot of family. You don't even see family a lot. You'd be surprised. But I'm doing that now. I'm calling people and talking to people I haven't talked, but really close friends.
Sure.
And even you in Las Vegas, if you really, really look at it, most people only have about 4 people that you can depend on.
I agree.
And tell everything to.
I agree. No, I don't disagree with you on that one whatsoever. I guess my next question would be this. I mean, obviously you're one of the most established comedians on the planet, but what would you say about go back to like the late 70s if you had to deal with something like this and you were just trying to make it? And what about these younger comedians, George, that have to travel from place to place, week to week, just to pay the bills? Obviously, they can't make money now. I mean, what would you say about them? Because obviously there's a lot of young stand-up comics now that are struggling.
It's going to be bad, Brian, because some of these comedy clubs won't even reopen. There's also, you got to think about the market. There's not a lot of people anxious to go back to crowds. It's a new day forevermore. Things have changed. We don't know what's going to happen when the clubs and the rooms open back up and the auditoriums. I don't know whether I really want to be amongst a lot of people just yet.
Yeah,
I'm telling
agree.
you, when the casinos open again, I'm not so sure. I've always done the bit on stage about I'm not shaking nobody's hand, and I'm not. Right now, I'm not going to fist bump anybody, and I'm telling people I'm just going to adopt. I'm in Asia all the time. I'm going to adopt the Asian custom of bowing, just bowing. Just bowing.
Yeah, when you were in studio, I believe that we elbow bumped.
Listen, don't even touch me. Don't elbow bump me at all.
Yeah.
I ain't touching nobody.
So those days are done.
I'm going to be so Asian that I'm going to change my name. My real name is Henry Lee. I'm going back to Henry Lee. I'm going to be that Asian.
Hey, can you imagine the hell that a guy like a Howie Mandel is going through now? Like, you already have obsessive compulsive disorder, and you're like an entertainer. Can you imagine what's going through his head right now? He must be quarantining himself in the bathroom,
Well, he's actually doing pretty good. I do his Instagram a few days, and just a few days ago, and he's actually doing well. And this is keeping us going. This is our therapy, talking to Las Vegas, talking to you guys, and just put laugh in your life. No matter what you do, as my book says, laugh it off. Keep laughing in your life. Go on my Twitter feed. I try to keep people laughing every day, especially in Las Vegas. All you got to do is just listen to radio. In a wreck, need a check. All these lawyers, enough said, call in. That's all. All you got
There are a lot of advertisements like that in Vegas.
A lot of poetic ditties for
What
sure.
the hell is going on with these lawyers? If you're not on TV, you're not a real lawyer now. What is going on? Just every other commercial.
Well, you have to be on a billboard in Las Vegas to be a real lawyer.
That is very.
This is true too.
So, like, do you miss? I mean, how do you? I know you've been doing this for 44 years, but I mean, you mentioned it's kind of nice to be able to put your feet up and watch a little TV at night and relax a little bit. But I would imagine you still probably miss performing for the fans and making people laugh on a regular basis, right? How do you mix that between the two?
I do because I'm really different. Doing comedy and stand up is my sex and it's my drug. I'd rather do. No, this is not funny. It's not funny. This is the truth. I'd rather do stand up more than anything else. When I walk on that stage and people see me, and when I see happy people, it makes me happier. It's better than sex and drugs. You may not understand that, but if you did, what you love doing, and I'm living my dreams.
Well, for me it's the same because when I'm having sex with a female, usually they're laughing, so I get the best of both worlds. That's usually.
Well, I'm glad you specified for the female. It really doesn't matter. Whatever flips your boat, it really doesn't matter as long as you're happy. You're not. You shouldn't be having sex with anybody today. Let's go back to that.
That's true.
You keep your distance, okay? Let me tell you something, young man. As the big cat Ernie Ladd used to say, let me tell you something, Mr. Announcer. You shouldn't be approaching anybody right now, okay? You
right.
keep your. Are you married?
No, I'm not. I'm not married.
Okay, keep your distance. Let me tell you what's happening. What is this? This is May, right? April?
April.
Come December and January, you're going to see some babies around here like you won't believe. And you're going to see some divorces.
Yeah.
A lot of divorces.
Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, listen, it's going to be a lot of divorces. Married people, 30 years, have never lived together 24/7. And you know how easy it is to get on your nerves after 24/7 every day, 3 weeks in a row. Like, get the hell away from me.
Well, especially if you have young kids as well that aren't in school.
Listen, I shouldn't even say this, but I just shot 3 of my kids. I didn't kill them. There's something wrong with me, Sharp and Shapiro. There's something wrong with me, okay? I apologize.
Trust me, there's a lot more wrong with me than you, George. There's a lot right about you. Trust
I can
me.
attest to that.
So, George, I hope we really can get you back to the Westgate soon, man. When do you think this thing is going to get over with? I mean, this is brutal.
I don't know, Sharp and Shapiro. Listen, let me say this before I go any further. You guys, I'm talking to you on telephone. You guys have a personality that comes to the phone. It's just a lot of fun talking to you guys. I feel so comfortable. I don't know. Have I done you guys live?
Yeah, you came in studio. In fact, I met you. You came in our studio, and then you were running up to the Westgate, so you had to leave. You did our show when we were 6 to 8 p.m.
I really didn't have to leave. I just didn't like you.
Well, that's very possible. Join the club. Join the club, George. That's about anybody else that meets me. And then, I tell this story about you because this was like 10 years ago, George. You were performing at another casino, and you came in and you gave me a bunch of tickets to give away on the air. And so many people that won those tickets had such a great time and thanked me. And I said, don't thank me, thank George, because he gave me a bundle of tickets to give away. And that was really nice of you. That was the first time I met you. But yeah, you came in studio at KDWN probably about a year ago or so. And you had to and we had a great time then, and we're having a great time now. But I mean it sincerely when I say you've always been one of my favorite comedians since I was a little kid. My dad first introduced me to you when I was at a very young age, and I've been a big fan of yours ever since. I've seen your show all over the Strip. I've seen your show at the Westgate several times. I was there on opening night, media night,
thank you.
And you're just one of the best. But one of the things about you that I think is very rare is that, you could have a 10-year-old see your show or an 80-year-old. You're not nasty. You're not dirty. And every comedian is different. But you can bring your family to your show, and everyone will still have a good time. I think that's what's so unique and different about you, which is great.
Well, I love what I do, and I do love kids. I just like to laugh. And I like to write evergreen jokes. If I tell a joke today, it should be funny 30 years from now. And there's so much going on in the world. If you just can't write jokes right now, and you can't say anything stupid around me because I pick up on little things. Life is so good, and I just sit back and just laugh. Like a lady said to me the other day, I feel comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah, that's
important.
important.
You can't say stuff like that around me. I got to make that into. Well, how you know you feel comfortable in your own skin? You never been in nobody else's skin before. Shapiro, Sharp and Shapiro, don't you heard the man Jeff Bezos?
Sure.
You heard of him?
Yeah.
Don't you think you feel a little better in his skin?
I would feel a little more wealthy in his skin.
I'd feel a little better.
Yeah.
I feel better completely. Healthy, physical. I feel better in Oprah's skin. I feel better in Al Sharpton's skin. Feel a little tight.
Al Sharpton. How would George Wallace feel in Donald Trump's skin? Be honest.
Stop it. Stop it. Don't say stupid stuff. I don't know what. Listen to me. The show says whatever your political opinion is. Obviously, I should be president. I don't know which virus is worse, 19 or 45. Now, let me tell you something. So, in any case, I wish I were in charge of this country. I would do some things that I wouldn't bring people back too soon. I would make sure anybody want a mask, you get a mask. And by the way, speaking of these masks, some of these are made out of underwear. I'm smelling some terrible odors in these masks.
You're probably wearing mine. That's probably mine. Yeah.
I'm wearing your jock strap. Oh my God, I was wondering where it was coming from. You see how stupid I am? I was trying to be serious, and all of a sudden,
That's
it goes
funny.
into a joke.
Oh, it's funny. Have you watched? Speaking of funny, not to get political, George, but have you watched any of these coronavirus press briefings? And what do you make of it? Some people say it's like a skit from Saturday Night Live.
Let me tell you something. If I just could be a journalist for one day, and go to the press conference, because I'm gonna be invited the same day and fired on the same day. Because I know I'm not stupid. I would say to the president, "Is there something wrong with you? You just said this yesterday, and now you say you didn't say it. Something's wrong with me." Then I said, "Mr. Pence, are you going to stand there and let that man just lie in front of your face, and you're going to back him?" I could go down the line, and I would just say, "There's something wrong with you. I don't know what it is. Hachoo!" And I get the hell out there.
Well, I got your back on that one. I'm not much of a Trump supporter myself. George, you literally are a living legend. We're glad you're safe, and you and your family are doing good. And I tell you, man, I cannot wait until things reopen and get to see you again at the Westgate, because
There's another stupid thing people say, "I cannot wait." Well, what you going to do about it?
That's true. I got no choice. I'm in quarantine. That's true. That's true. I have absolutely no choice.
Las Vegas, when you get ready, let's get ready. Vegas strong. Let's get ready to do this thing whenever we do it. Let's get back into laughter. Let's get back into enjoying each other. Even though we know it's going to be a different world from now on. From now on, it's going to be different. But let's make the best of it, okay?
You're right. George, I couldn't have said it any better myself. You are a legend. I cannot thank you enough for coming on when things get back to normal. Hopefully we can get you back in studio. George, you're the best. I love you, man. Thanks for that birthday. Thanks for the birthday wishes, and stay safe, my friend, okay?
You've got to check me out on Twitter at Mr. George Wallace. Everybody, come over to the Westgate. Let's have a good time. We have free parking at the Westgate when it opens back up. Okay.
All right.
Love you much.
You better.
I love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. See you.
See, and you better retweet this interview, or I'll be very disappointed in you, George. Thanks for coming on. There you go. The legend himself, George Wallace. God, is that guy funny? He's funny, so smart. And if you've never seen George do his stand-up routine in Vegas, I highly recommend.
And if you're home watching Netflix 8 hours a day like I am, I highly recommend you check out Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld.
That's good.
He did an episode with George, and the two of them drove around the Strip, and it was pretty interesting to hear Seinfeld's commentary on Vegas.
Don't you find it kind of weird that here you have, what a funny guy, George Wallace, and Jerry Seinfeld? I actually believe him that Jerry probably does not have a lot of friends. He's an introvert. Don't you find that the talent that a Jerry Seinfeld has? And by the way, I met him before, and he's absolutely right. It was a very awkward interview. I interviewed Jerry Seinfeld. He was doing the red carpet of it was when Andre Agassi did his big charity event at MGM Grand, and I got about 5 minutes with Jerry, and it was one of the most awkward interviews I've ever done in my life. Like, I'm asking him questions, and he was giving me this blank, weird stare. And I'm pretty good at doing interviews. I'm asking him about the charity, and I'm asking about why it was important for him to be here. And he just looked at me, it was important because I'm friends with Andre. Like, he just gives me weird answers, and it was just strange. He's a weird guy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his work, but everything I've seen of him in that, whether it be on the Netflix show or anything else, he really does tend to hate people, I think. I don't think he'd even make any...
He's like Larry David.
Yeah, I don't even think he's even hiding that fact.
Larry David...
He says in his show, the Netflix show, he says, I only get along with other comedians. I believe that. I just think he's very awkward and just doesn't like regular people.
I've had some weird interviews with comedians. Chevy Chase is a weird dude, too. But I met Larry David, and I've always wanted to meet this guy. And he was just like the same guy in Curb Enthusiasm. So I'm doing an interview with him, and he looks at me and he goes, "Who is this for? What is this for? What is your outlet?" And he was serious. I thought he was joking. He really wanted to know what I was doing and why I was asking him questions. And then I asked him a few questions about the Knicks, and he got angry. And he was a very agitated individual. And that's why I'm saying that's why Curb Your Enthusiasm is so successful, because Larry doesn't have to act. That is actually the kind of guy he is. He's a funny guy. He's brilliant, but he's also neurotic. He's nuts.
You also think about, we're going off on a tangent here, but whatever. You also think about people like a Seinfeld, like a Larry David, or any comedian that struggled to make it at first, and all the doors they got slammed in their face, and all of the comments that they got from people when they were trying to make it, and now they've made it. Now they're the biggest comedians on the planet. You can kind of maybe pay people back a little bit for that, and you don't have to care what people think. You've got all the money and success in the world. Who cares what people think?
Oh, it's true.
And and not everybody thinks like that. I mean, there's people that, that are probably George Wallace was probably the nicest guy 40 years ago. He's probably the same as he is now.
Yeah.
But I think there is something to that about how money affects you, right?
No question. I mean, but a lot of these comedians are introverts. a lot of these comedians are brilliant at what they do, but a lot of them have some mental problems, and a lot of them are not normal. I mean, I don't know what normal is, but a lot of these comedians are just
a
different
lot of
cats.
entertainers in general are very eccentric.
Yeah.
Just by nature. I mean, especially actors. I mean, think what you have to do to actually act. You have to pretend to be a different person to the point where an audience actually believes that you're that person, and they pay to watch you be that person. I mean, you have to be in a totally different mental mindset to do that. So yeah, entertainers in general and performers in general they tend to be a little crazy, so to speak.
Yeah, no question. But certainly, I'm sure we all would agree, George Wallace is one of the best in the business.
Outstanding.
Really is.
And speaking of actors, not to be a Debbie Downer, but legendary actor Brian Dennehy has passed away at the age of 81.
Oh, no. Brian Dennehy, I remember the first Rambo?
He was in the first Rambo.
God, I love that movie.
He was in Cocoon.
He was in Tommy Boy. He was Tommy Boy.
Yeah, that's right.
Bobby Knight.
Tommy Boy's dad.
He played Bobby Knight on that ESPN movie.
Big Tom Callahan.
My
that's right.
favorite Sylvester Stallone movie, and I'm not a big fan of all the Rambos. I thought the last Rambo was absolutely awful. But I always watched that first Rambo because I thought it was incredible. And Dennehy, am I pronouncing his name right?
Yeah, Brian Dennehy.
Played such a great role in that movie. He was like the head of police there, and he played such a great jerk in that movie. He's such a great actor, and it was such a great, just at the tandem between him and Sylvester Stallone in that first Rambo was real. And I think you could make obviously the boxing movies made Sylvester Stallone's career, obviously, but that first Rambo was so good. And I still watch that movie because it's an older movie, but the acting was actually really good. The script was unique. And then you see all these Rambos afterwards, and they're just not very good. But he was such a great actor. He's fantastic.
Dennehy died yesterday in Connecticut. Natural causes, in case anyone's thinking coronavirus.
No COVID? Okay.
Natural causes. There will not be an official autopsy.
Well, and he was 81 years old.
81.
He was up there.
Yeah.
But lived a pretty damn good life.
Yeah, exactly. If you're 80 to 90 and you have success like that, you lived an outstanding life, whether it's in business or entertainment, or if you have grandkids, if you have money saved up, whatever it is, if you have an estate.
Well, it's different.
You lived an outstanding life.
It's different than when you hear about a Chris Cornell taking his own life,
right?
Or when you hear about a Robin Williams. It's different when you hear about a young actor that goes through some sort of tragedy, whether it's suicide or an accidental death. It's it's more difficult. It's always difficult, but it's more difficult when someone that is so young and so talented either takes their own life or dies tragically in an accident. It's horrible. It's terrible, and you never want to see that. But he was a fantastic actor, and you're right. He lived a great life and a long life. So coming up next, we're going to take a quick break. And yeah, the birthday wishes continue, folks. God, what a day this has been. I got a birthday wish from the President of the United States. I got a happy birthday from Oscar Goodman. Oscar sang me happy birthday. George Wallace sang me happy birthday. We got Lisa Song Sutton, former Miss Nevada, Mike Hammer, magician. Well, I guess it doesn't end there. I'm spoiled. King Brian, it continues. If you weren't aware, my 40th birthday is today. We got Charlene Carabio coming up next, the lead singer of Sexy at the Westgate, Island Heat, Treasure Island, and the Fantasy Show at the Luxor. Charlene going to sing me a little happy birthday. Coming up next right here on the Vegas Take.
This is a story of the numbers that make your water flow. 90% of our water comes from Lake Mead, traveling through 6,500 miles of pipeline. Your water is treated thoroughly, analyzed nearly 300,000 times a year, and monitored 24/7 by experts, all to ensure your water meets or surpasses the highest quality standards on its way to the place that matters most, your tap. For objective information about water quality and in-home treatment systems, visit snwa.com. The SNWA is a not-for-profit water agency.
No money down to file a bankruptcy? At Fair Fee Legal Services, you can file a bankruptcy for no money down. Keep your car, your house, and everything you own. Stop paying those high-interest credit cards and payday loans. Fair Fee Legal Services will file your bankruptcy for $799 or no money down. Get your life back for no money down.
Debt-free, carefree, finally free with Fair Fee. FairFeeLegalServices.com. 702-703-3333.
You've heard me talk about Homey and how they will save you thousands of dollars when you buy or sell a home. Not only are they disrupting the traditional real estate model, but I am blown away by how they are investing in our local community during these tough times. I couldn't be more proud to endorse Homey, and here's why. Homey is committing up to $100,000 to the United Way of Southern Nevada to help keep people in their homes through rent and mortgage assistance for those impacted by COVID-19. COVID-19. For every home bought or sold with Homey over the next 90 days, they will donate $500 to the United Way. Even more importantly, Homey will rebate their entire $2,500 listing fee back to you if you are forced to sell your home due to this crisis. That's right, no selling fee. That's huge. It's amazing to see a new company in Las Vegas step up in such a big way. Text JD to 88588 to buy or sell with Homey. Again, text JD to 88588. Stay safe and save thousands. Homey really does have our back.
Can a tree change a life? At Trees for the Future, we believe trees make all the difference in the fight against poverty, hunger, and climate change. Through a proven permaculture method called the Forest Garden Approach, Trees for the Future has positively impacted over 26,000 farmers and their children. Are you ready to leave a lasting impact on the world? Find out how to plant seeds of hope this season at trees.org/radio. That's trees.org/radio.
Special report, coronavirus update. I'm Christopher Cruz. It's another shock to the country's economy. 5.2 million workers filed for their first week of unemployment benefits last week.
Never in history since the Labor Department started tracking this figure in 1967 have jobless claims grown so high and so fast. For comparison, during the Great Recession, it took 2 years for 8.6 million Americans to lose their jobs.
Correspondent Steve Kastenbaum in New York. Housing starts in March dropped 22.3% from February. Construction of single-family houses fell 17.5%. Apartment and condo starts were off 32%. There was also a 6.8% drop in permits to begin construction in March. President Trump expected to announce an easing of restrictions in some areas of the country where there has been a low transmission of the coronavirus, expected later this afternoon. I'm Christopher Cruz.
It's time to check the roads.
From the Lerner and Rowe Traffic Studio.
This report sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance, where you only pay for what you need. Police activity on Grand Teton Drive between Wallapai Way and Grand Canyon Drive. There may be restrictions in the area. This is for an ongoing police investigation. Or take an alternate and avoid any delays. You could use Elkhorn Farm Road or Sky Canyon Park instead. And also an accident on Jones Boulevard northbound of the 95 was blocking the center lane. Avoid slowing. Take an alternate. Use Decatur or Rainbow. Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your coverage so you only pay for what you need. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
These are unprecedented times, which are causing a lot of stress and financial worry for millions of Americans. But here's some good news. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, Optima Tax Relief can reduce the stress in your life by helping you resolve your tax debt right from the safety of your own home. Make no mistake, you don't want to owe the IRS right now. They can take your paycheck and everything you work so hard for. But with Optima on your side, you may qualify for help that saves you thousands. Their tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and has resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for taxpayers across the nation. So now's the time. For tax help you need, for tax help you trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-709-6011. That's 800-709-6011. 800-709-6011.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Now is the time for peace of mind. If you need health insurance, you may be eligible for a qualified health insurance plan through Nevada HealthLink. Enroll now through May 15th. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com/SEP or call 1-800-547-2927.
Jim Marsh, Chrysler, Jeep, Kia, and all of their employees and their families are here with a reminder about COVID-19. Please wash your hands often and protect yourself and your families. They want all Nevadans to stay healthy.
101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON, the talk of Las Vegas. Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro, so glad you could join us on a Thursday. By the way, quick reminder, tomorrow we're going to have Congresswoman Dina Titus. She is going to be joining us on the show. Get the latest from her. What has she heard? What does she know in regards to Steve Sisolak? Does she think that things are going to reopen on May 1st? She's a good person to ask about this stuff. She is juiced in, as they would say. So she'll be joining us on the show tomorrow. If you didn't know, I don't think JD knew, but today is my birthday. I am 40.
I am shocked by this.
Are you shocked?
I was totally unaware of that fact, Brian.
Obviously, that's why that you didn't give him a gift.
Well,
I still feel like
I already told him he's getting his gift next week, but I had to order it.
Look forward to that Ocasio-Cortez blow-up doll. Thank you very much. So I feel very similar to where I felt like when I was 21. The only difference is minus all the Viagra pills that I have to take. But other than that, actually, I feel pretty good. I mean, I would imagine we all kind of feel like crap in quarantine. We're not able to exercise as much as we would like. I hate jogging. But other than that, I feel the same. I don't feel that much different. But I want to ask the public, those of you that are listening right now, I'll open up the phone lines here in a second. I want to ask you about something, and I want you guys to tell me whether I should be concerned or not. So I received something in the mail yesterday at my complex, and it looked like it was a birthday card, and I thought maybe it's from my family, maybe it's from a friend. So I open up the card, and it looks very nice, and the card says, Happy 40th birthday. I open up the card. It says, Brian, happy birthday. A neighbor who enjoys listening to your broadcast. You do a great work on your show. Good luck in the future. Found out recently that I'm one of your neighbors. Doesn't say the person's name. Has no forwarding address, so I don't even know, not only do I not know this person's name, clearly they know where I live, and they didn't put a forwarding address there. So my question to the listeners and my questions to JD and Stein are, should I be concerned about this? I'm a little spooked out by it. Number one, why would you send me a happy birthday wish and not give me your name without any personal apartment
Okay, let's
address?
rewind real quick. This has got a stamp on it. This was mailed to you.
Right.
But supposedly came from within the complex.
Which makes no sense
So
at
the
all.
person knows your apartment number, and they could have put it on your door, but they literally went to the post office and mailed this thing?
Yeah, it's weird.
And then the return address is the name of the complex.
So I'm going to open up the phone.
Actually, I think that putting it under your door would be more weird than mail. I think mailing it actually makes more sense.
Well,
and I think that someone saw you walking to your car, and they probably watch on YouTube, and they put two and two together.
Well, that's not creepy at all.
Well,
Well, let me open up the
They
phone
could have been
lines.
driving by, something like
All
that.
right. Well, fair enough. Let me open up the. By the way, JD's playing this off like it's not a big deal. Yesterday, when I gave him the card, he washed his hands like 8 times, and he wanted to look if there was any white powder in the envelope. So don't play it off like you're not as worried as I am.
I was not looking for anthrax, Brian.
You thought that you didn't. Somebody put the coronavirus on this card. Don't lie to me.
I was not looking for VX gas.
Did you not say? Were you not worried about coronavirus on this card? Tell me the truth. Don't lie. I know you're laughing. Tell me the truth. You were a little freaked out.
I wasn't worried about coronavirus, but I still felt like I should, going through Brian's mail at any point in my life, I should
You
probably
guys were
put
freaking me
hand
out
sanitizer on my
yesterday.
hands.
I washed my hands too, but that was because I was afraid of fecal matter.
Right. You don't know what Brian is getting in the mail.
Well, if that's
and
the
who it's
case, you
from.
shouldn't touch anything in this apartment. All right, let's open up the phone lines.
I don't.
What do you guys think about this? Do you think I should be concerned by this card I got? What would you do if you got a card like this? No name attached to it, a happy birthday card. They know where I live. Should I be worried about this? I'm going to open up the phone lines right now, 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call if you want to be part of the conversation. I am asking for your advice right now. What do you think about this birthday card? Should I be worried? There was no white substance on it or anything, but again, no name and no address. It's weird, right? 702-257-5396. I want to hear from you listeners out there. This has absolutely nothing to do with politics, believe it or not. I just need some advice from some of my listeners. So give me a call, 257-5396. Let's start off with Steve. Steve, what do you think about this, man? I need some advice.
Ryan, happy birthday. I wish you
Thank
the
you.
best.
Appreciate that.
Don't worry about the card. Listen, I think it's probably just somebody having a little fun. And listen, this 32-year-old girl I know is beautiful. She used to be a cocktail waitress at Bellagio.
Oh.
She wanted to meet you. And she said, what does Brian have to offer? And I said, listen, he's got something no millionaires got. She said, what's that? I said, no money.
That's not very nice. That was funny, but it's not very nice. All right. Well,
Brian, listen,
yes.
I got your birthday gift. Listen, for the callers that drive you a little crazy, a bottle of wine. For the ones that really drive you crazy, 2 bottles of Jack Daniels. And for the ones that really irritate you, like Wayne Allen Root, a case of Everclear.
You know what? I like that. The best thing for Wayne en route is get him free admittance to a psych asylum. But hey, Steve.
You know what? That was great. It was like you and Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. He thought he was Mike Tyson, and you were Buster Douglas. You knocked him out.
Yeah,
Good job, Brian.
thank you. I appreciate that, Steve. I appreciate the phone call.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, my man. You're the best. You're funny, too. I like you. 257-5396, the number to call. I need your advice. I got this birthday card. Nobody gave their name. They know where I live, and it just freaked me out. They're a fan of the show, and they know where I live. I never give my address out. It's strange. What should I do about this? Should I call the authorities? 257-5396. Let's go to Michelle. Michelle, you're next up on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Michelle?
Michelle, did we lose you? I think we lost Michelle. I wanted to get some advice from Michelle.
Well, probably would have given you some advice from the Bible.
Well, I don't need advice from the Bible. The Bible's not going to save me right now. I believe.
Wait, she's calling back.
I believe I need actual real advice.
Okay.
Okay. I need real advice from people that are listeners. I mean, JD's kind of brushing it off. I'm worried about this. I think it's legitimate. I think I should be worried. Don't you think?
Well, I rethought it, and I think that had they actually put it under your door, I would feel a little. The fact that they spent the time to go, and get this thing mailed to you properly, and it was a very nice message. It looks like it's a female. The handwriting looks like a female. It's a very, very good handwriting. So I think that you don't have a lot. I think you just have a really, really, supportive fan, Brian, who wants to wish you a happy 40th birthday.
Why wouldn't they give their name then?
Let's just take a quick break here since we got a couple minutes before hate mail. Brian, as you can see, I did get you a birthday cake. Anyone who's watching on YouTube can see this.
Very nice of
this beautiful Boston cream cake with strawberries that I got for you.
It's very nice.
And the 4 and the 0 candle for 40th birthday. And also, I did get you an iced coffee that you took 2 sips of. So thanks for that, wasting my money on that. But anyway, yes, here's the cake. I'm going to light the candles now for you people on YouTube. I'm going to try to.
Our YouTube page is the Vegas Take.
Hit it.
In case you want to watch this live.
Thank you, Sean. To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, bald a-hole.
Dear Krusty.
Does that mean I have to blow out the candles now?
Happy birthday to you.
That's about as happy as I get.
All right. Stein is really good at this. I'm going to blow the candles. Here we go.
You make a wish.
Yeah.
Yay.
Can I tell everybody what my wish was? I wish that Donald Trump does not get the coronavirus. That was my wish.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah, that was my
That's
wish.
really nice of you.
That was my wish. No,
My wish is that you clean the peanut butter off.
I actually gained a lot of respect for you there, Brian. A lot of respect.
I'm serious.
That's great.
I'm serious, man. I'm being honest with you. I'm trying to be nice here. It's a different Brian Shapiro. What do you want me to say? All right, so here's what we're going to do. By the way, thank you, Stein, for that. That was very sweet of you.
You're welcome,
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You actually caught me off guard at that, Stein.
Yeah.
Well, you made me look really bad.
I'm a very generous man.
No, you are, clearly.
JD's gift
You're thoughtful, you're generous.
He is. JD's gift was taking 3 dumps in my toilet today. That was his gift. It's a gift that keeps on giving.
But that actually did not take place.
One? Did you do one today?
I did call you a severe left winger, which I thought was,
that's inappropriate.
Well deserved and a long time coming. So I was you can have that delegate or that designation as part of my gift. You'll get the rest of my gift in a week, though.
I believe you. I'm giving you a hard time, but I am serious about your dumps. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, it's my birthday today, so I expect the hate mail just kept on coming. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this with the hate mail segment of the day. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
When we adopted Buddy, who is a lab, we didn't know that he can't eat like a normal dog. He has to eat sitting up, sit-ups, so just put him down. His life expectancy maximum is 3 years. Well, he's 6 years old now, and I attribute most of that to Dinovite and a lot of love. DINOVITE.com. I heard about Dinovite on the radio and started mixing it in with his food, and it's changed everything. Dinovite is nutrition. Yes, he has a nice shiny coat. Yes, it helps with keeping a good, healthy weight on him. He's happy, he's healthy, and he's going to be with me for a long time because of Dinovite.
Dinovite for life.
We take him to the vet now, and they can't believe it. I love my dog. I want him happy and healthy, so I give him Dinovite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dinovite from DINOVITE.com.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
1015 FM, 720 AM, KDON, the talk of Las Vegas. Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 1015 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. We will get to your hate mail on our YouTube page in just a minute. I gotta read this tweet because it's kind of funny. As you know, Ken Thompson does a great show on KDWN. His show is 8 to 10 p.m. SportsX Radio. He does a great job breaking down games, even though there's not many games to break down right now, that's for sure. Maybe you want to break down some sumo wrestling fights.
No, esports. It's all about esports now, Brian.
But anyway, this is Ken Thompson's tweet to me just now, a couple minutes ago. Happy birthday to a balding, middle-aged child. The Vegas Take, Brian Shapiro. Make it a great year, angle shooter. Happy 40th, my man. Good luck with the stalker. The reason why he put angle shooter is because I accused him of being an angle shooter. We had a basketball shooting contest, and he rebounded the ball. Basically, what he did to me is the equivalent of yelling in somebody's backswing when they're playing golf, even though he wouldn't admit to that. That's why he's putting the angle shooter inside joke in there. Mr. Ken Thompson, I appreciate those happy birthday wishes. You're right. I am a balding, middle-aged child. You're absolutely right. I don't deny that one bit, but I appreciate those birthday wishes. I have a sense that in some of our hate mail, they won't be as kind as Ken Thompson. Jason Stein, can you read off some of the hate mail that we have received over the course of the last 3 hours of this wonderful program?
The hate mail doesn't stop even on your 40th birthday, which is good, I guess, for us.
Interesting.
Because I've got time to fill here. All right, here we go. First comment. For a second, I thought Brian was broadcasting in the nude. His orange sweater matches his skin perfectly.
I like that. That's true, actually.
It's kind of a dull orange.
No, I like how it lumps Brian in with Donald Trump. That makes me happy.
Dana writes, I think I found my missing tractor tire in Brian's midsection. Look like he's 9 months pregnant. What's up with that?
I can lose about 5 pounds. I don't think I'm trashed. I don't think I'm at the tire stage, but I could definitely lose 5 pounds.
Herschel Walker put those around his waist and climbed up hills.
For the record,
they weren't actually his. You found a way to grow that.
For the record,
I'm impressed with.
For the record, I could still see my penis when I go to the urinal. Just for the record, I'm just saying I'm not at that stage, at least not yet.
For those of you who don't know Brian, he lives on Taco Bell and KFC.
Well, you bought me a Taco Bell birthday gift card. That was your gift to me. So obviously you don't care about my health.
No.
Clearly.
Well, this is nice. Maybelle Shapiro.
Soon to be birthday cake.
Your mother, Maybelle Shapiro, weighed in on your birthday.
Not my mother.
She writes, Brian's 7th birthday was his most memorable. He spent the weekend with our dear family friend Liberace. He was showered with fabulous, expensive gifts, including a white leather boot and feather boa.
Liberace. I couldn't even name you one song.
That's fantastic. I love Liberace.
I'm not a Liberace fan.
I honestly think that Mabel Shapiro, if it's not his mother, it might be Mike Hammer.
I don't know who it is.
I'm just based on that. I think it's Mike Hammer. I think Mike Hammer every single day comments as Mabel Shapiro.
I don't know who that is.
On her YouTube.
Certainly, it's somebody that's definitely obsessed with me in the show. There's no question about that.
Keep them coming, Maybelle. By the way, Michael Douglas has Liberace. Fantastic.
That was the Matt Damon.
Yeah.
I didn't
HBO.
watch it. I didn't watch it.
Behind the Candelabra.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
I bet you did.
I did.
I bet you did. I bet you watch it every night.
It was fabulous. You know what was great about sidebar? What was great about Liberace? The man was clearly a gay man for years, and like back then, no one said anything.
Yeah.
They just did.
Well, that's kind of like my relationship with you. I mean, you do have a Chippendales calendar in your kitchen. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying, just tell everybody.
Next comment. Brian is 40 today. Then why does he have the gray teeth of a 90-year-old? Hashtag get Brian off the air.
Gray.
Yesterday your teeth were green and yellow.
They
Today
keep changing colors.
Yeah, they're gray today.
Yeah. They keep changing colors. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I guess this is kind of a compliment, but kind of not. Good morning. Glad to see that the Pink Panther changed out of his mama's bathrobe. Where's my boy Chris Farley?
Chris Farley.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
What does that have
is.
to do with
I don't
anything?
know. Maybe they mean Chris Wynn.
Chris
He kind
Farley.
of looks like Farley.
Yeah, I don't know, I guess so.
I think they mean Hans Vin.
I don't know.
Farley. They said Farley.
I don't know. Well, we had his brother on, Kevin Farley, a few weeks ago.
He was good.
Yeah.
All right.
I enjoyed him a lot.
I normally would not do this, but Maybelle Shapiro actually wrote twice, and so it's your mother. So I better,
Which is very out of character for her.
yeah. Maybelle also writes, for Brian's 30th birthday, we surprised him with front row tickets at the Chippendales show at the Rio. The expression on his face was pure magic. He jumped up, clapping and singing with all the show fellas.
Actually, me and JD went to Chippendales one time. And why did we go? Oh, Perez Hilton did our show, and he was.
And get this, Perez did our show, and he was hosting. He was hosting Chippendales.
Yeah.
But I also ate a foot-long hot dog outside of the show.
I'll bet you did.
It was outstanding.
I had
it
the
was
most.
really. I don't remember the place. I don't know what it's called.
I had the most.
I purchased a foot-long hot dog after watching Chippendales.
Do you remember the female date I took to that show? She was the most annoying woman I've ever hung out with.
Her name was Cinnamon, Brian.
Well, yeah, maybe she was a stripper. I don't know. I mean,
Where's-
she was.
oh,
She
we
was
could
very
have had
pretty.
her come on and wish you a happy birthday.
She was very pretty, and we went on some dates. But
Cinnamon?
After I got a chance to actually get to know her, I realized what a psycho
She wasn't actually that pretty.
She
Sho-
was- she
shocker.
was- I
Someone who
thought she-
goes by the name Cinnamon was
she was-
psycho.
she was attractive.
That says a lot about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next comment. How pathetic. Birthday boy Brian requests individual solo birthday songs. Most grown men shy away from birthday recognition. And then again, when you look like a teenager at 40, maybe there's something there.
That's a compliment. So you're saying I look like a teenager at 40. This guy is such a dope. He doesn't realize he just gave me a compliment. As opposed to what? Looking old at 40? He just said I look like a teenager.
The joke is on him.
Yeah, the joke's
He
on
probably
you,
even
dope.
called you at a gas station.
You dope. Thank you for the compliment. I look like a teenager at 40. Hey, I really want to insult this guy, even though I love his show every day. What's the best insult, Mom? Why don't you tell him this? Why don't you make fun of his age? All right, I'm going to tell him he looks like a teenager at 40. Ha, 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 ha. What an idiot.
Well, you live like a teenager.
Well, he didn't say that. He said I look
Well,
like
especially
one.
now the social currency that comes along with aging well.
What a dope.
Okay, this one I like. It's sweet. It's short, sweet, direct to the point. Daniel writes, "Happy birthday, Brian. Now come blow out this candle."
That's my favorite one so far. I like that one. That's a funny joke. I like that.
Okay.
Have you ever owned a blow-up doll, by the way, Stein? Be honest.
Never. No, Brian. Never. Like, unlike you, no, never have.
Never once in your life.
No, but I am intrigued by the robots.
If you had to own a blow-up doll, would it be Ricky Martin? Who would it be?
I think we've covered the blow-up doll conversation.
No, we haven't actually.
Yeah, we did. I said,
What would your?
I said AOC.
What's the highest amount of money you would actually
Thought
pay
you were
for a
gonna say-
blow-up doll?
thought you were gonna
For
say-
a robot blow-up doll.
I thought he was going to say Elizabeth Warren. All right,
Does the
go ahead.
robot do everything?
Yes, absolutely.
Depends where
Full
I'm
s-
at. It
full
depends
service
where
type.
I'm at in my life and my financial situation.
Let's say
Right now, I
let's
might drop $1,000 right
okay,
now.
let's say in 3 years we're syndicated in 120 markets, and you're making $250,000 a year.
Mhm.
How much would you spend of that $250,000 a year on a blow-up doll robot?
That's about how much
Who
money Chris
does-
Wynn spends
who
on
does
Caveman Kino.
everything?
It depends. Does the robot look like Brian's mother?
No.
What does my mother
No,
have to do with
the
this?
answer
You
is
dope?
no.
Okay.
Why does he bring my
Can we
mother
move
into
on?
this
Can we
equation?
move on?
No, I want to know about your sex life. What have you been doing the last 3 months?
I was gonna say because I could get it from your mother for free.
Oh, that's very funny. That's very original.
So I'm putting
Very
that Stein would spend 2% of his yearly income on that.
Let me tell you something.
That's what I'm saying.
Can I be honest
This
with
is
you?
a hate mail
Hold on a
segment
second.
about
No,
Brian.
no. Hold on a second. Stein's penis has been in quarantine for 20 years. Trust me. Trust me on that one. Go ahead, Stein.
But some of those dolls really do look realistic.
Yeah.
I just have
Yeah,
to say.
they do.
Okay, the real Carolyn Haynes, who is not a Carolyn or a Haynes, said, "Had I known it was your birthday, I would have sent over my famous razor blade cake."
Yeah, I bet you that's what it's like to kiss you. It's like razor blades in there. I can understand why she would say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is nice. Michael Avenatti from the jail, the lockup in New York.
This is not the real Michael Avenatti.
I don't know.
I don't think he's allowed to go on YouTube.
It says Michael Avenatti, and there's a picture
Oh,
of
so
him.
it must be him.
I think it's real.
It must
I
be
mean,
him.
It sounds real to me.
It must be
It's
Michael.
on the internet. Just wanted to say happy birthday to my friend Brian Shapiro. I wish I could have been there to celebrate you, but as you know, I've been convicted of trying to extort Nike out of millions. #basta.
It's a very original statement right there. Very original, very funny. Nothing better to do this time than have a fake profile of Michael Avenatti.
Now the real Joaquin El Chapo Guzman also weighing in on your birthday from the Supermax prison in Colorado.
Oh, wow. Can't wait for this.
Chapo writes, Brian was one of my best customers in the early 90s. That gringo could sniff lines like there's no tomorrow.
You know, for the record, I've never done cocaine in my life. That is the truth. I think I'd be one of those people where if I did do it, I'd probably die first try.
Yeah.
I have tried edibles before. I'm not much of a drinker, as you know. Once in a blue moon, no pun intended there, I will have some alcohol. About 10 years ago, I tried an ecstasy pill, and it did absolutely nothing for me. But you know what? One of the things in life that I am not into is drugs. Some people might think I'm on drugs, but I assure you I'm not, although I do take an Ambien once in a while to try to get some sleep. But that's it. I'm not into the whole drug alcohol thing. I never have been. Does that make me a bad person that I'm not a drug addict? I don't know. Does it?
But that doesn't include Cialis.
Does that make me boring? I've never taken Cialis, actually.
Tanya writes, I went to high school with Brian. His mother once paid a lot of the students to attend the party that she threw for him. It was pretty sad looking back on it.
Actually, I don't even know if I had any real birthday parties when I was younger. I'm trying to think. 21, I think, was the first real big party I had. I had about 100 people, but I don't think I ever had a 16th.
I do think it's kind of cool that Mabel was willing to bribe your classmates to have them attend, though. That's interesting.
I hated the high school I went to.
Yeah.
I absolutely hated it. I mean, I still talk to friends.
I learned nothing at the high school that I went to.
I would never.
Literally nothing.
Neither did I. I would never go to my high school reunion with many of those losers. There are a few people that I talk to still. In fact, sadly, not to bring this segment down, but one of those friends that I did go to high school and college with lost his mom to the coronavirus, and I just spoke to him the other day. But no, I never really had a true birthday. I dated a girl for 5 years throughout high school and most of college, and I think I just hung out with her on my birthday, and I think she jumped out of a cake for me. That was about it. That was my birthday present. It was a pretty good one, actually.
YouTube viewer Christopher writes, I would wish you a happy birthday, Brian, but quite honestly, I can't stand you.
That's fair. At least he's being honest. At least the guy's being honest. But let me tell you something. If we weren't doing this show, he would miss me because I grow on him like fungus, and that's just the bottom line. So I'll take that as a compliment. I'm glad you can't stand me as long as you're listening.
And finally, Sharon writes, you should be worried because talking about that mystery envelope that you got, birthday card from some listener who didn't identify themselves.
Correct, yes.
Sharon writes, you should be worried about that card because a lot of people can't stand you and would be looking to light a bag of crap on your porch.
Crap? A bag of crap on my... Well, I mean, JD does that every day. He just does it in the toilet. That's all. He does it like normal people.
No, but they're talking like Billy Madison.
Oh, like Billy Madison stuff.
Here's a nice piece
lighting it on fire.
Here's a nice piece of crap.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
He said the S word.
Well, thank you.
I'll
take all those comments as wonderful birthday wishes. I appreciate that.
Isn't that mean?
That's very nice.
It's your birthday. You're in quarantine, and people are still.
Let me tell you something. The more comments we get, the better. I take it as a compliment that people actually take time out of their day to watch our show, to go on our YouTube page, and to write comments and use their little Trump fingers to write comments. So I take it as a compliment myself, and I appreciate it. Comments are better than no comments, so we appreciate it all. All right, well, I'm going to try to enjoy this cake and get sick and enjoy my 40th birthday. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to have Congresswoman Dina Titus. She will be joining us. It's going to be a little bit more of a serious show tomorrow as we'll get back to all the top news of the day and all the issues that you want to talk about. And I promise you we'll take more phone calls tomorrow and open up the phone lines. I know we didn't have enough time to do that with all the great guests we had on today, including George Wallace, Oscar Goodman, Mike Hammer, Lisa Song-Sutton. Man, we had Darcy Spears. And Donald Trump.
And all of these fabulous guests will be podcasted, put up on our SoundCloud, but then, of course, also our YouTube page, where you can go back. If you missed Lisa Song-Sutton and Michael Hammer both singing Happy Birthday and then us judging who was better, that was good.
Yeah. No, that was actually a lot of fun. And it's important to note on all of our social media platforms, now that we have a few minutes here, check us out on Twitter at The Vegas Take. My personal Twitter account, if you'd like to do something nice and wish me a happy birthday, it's at I'm Brian Shapiro. You could also check us out on our YouTube page, which is The Vegas Take, and please subscribe to that. Our website is thevegastake.com. We're also on Instagram. Check out our fan page on Facebook, where don't we have over like 10,000 likes, JD, on our. I'm sorry to disturb you. I know you're on your phone. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we've got like 10,250 likes on Facebook.
That's good. That's a pretty damn good thing.
That's solid. We've got about 220,000 views on YouTube. We're getting to the point of having 1,000 subscribers to monetize YouTube, which is exciting. And then besides that, for those of us who hate our show or love our show, we are in the process of nationally syndicating the show into 37 markets.
That's pretty cool.
16 of which will be in the top 20, 8 of which will be in the top 10. Just to let you guys know, Vegas is number 30.
Well, and just to think about all the hate mail we will get from around the country.
It'll be amazing. I'm very, very excited for
Well,
that.
any of those 37 markets, let us use their studio.
That's I don't know if that'll actually happen or not, Brian. But we are having we're in consideration of talking with one of the up-and-coming major casinos about possibly using their studio.
Well, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool.
Compared to this place,
yeah,
anything would be
Hey, don't
cool,
make
Brian.
fun of my apartment.
No, I'll be
That's
honest.
not
I mean,
very
this chair hurts me every single day.
I got it at, where did I get it at?
IKEA.
IKEA, yeah. It was at least $6.
Well, for my birthday present, you could buy me some better furniture.
Yeah, I could do
You're
that.
more than welcome
I could
to do that. That would actually be a
Yeah.
benefit to you.
Or
Just
I
as
could,
much
or
as
I could
me.
just put a hole in this. I could just cut down this wall right here. We could just put our stuff
What
right
do you
in the
think
middle of
JD is going to get me for my birthday quickly? We only have like 20 seconds here. What do you think he'd buy me?
Today's your birthday. He got you nothing. That's the
true.
answer.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
That's true.
I got him something, but it's not going to arrive until.
Yes, the mail's slow down.
I wonder what it is. An 04 Hyundai Elantra. All right, we're going to take a 21-hour break. And Sean Hannity coming up next, folks. Be safe out there. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Your home for Sean Hannity. KDWN Las Vegas. KKLZ 8.
Good. Well, hey, knock on wood, the Comrex held up all show.
Yeah.